Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Please let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know where you are joining us from so that I can just heal you very quickly before we get into the conversation for today. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning if you are somewhere in Asia. Good afternoon, depending on what part of the planet you are tuned in from. Please let me know where you're calling from. Say hi, say hi, say hi. Let me know where you're calling from. I see you, Blessed. I see you. Who else do I see? I saw somebody commenting here in Spanish. But I see you, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Another episode of the Naija FC podcast is upon us, and we have quite a bit to discuss today. Who paid for the plane? Super Falcons, goalless draw against Portugal. Are we ready for the WAFCON? My upcoming interview with Randy Waldrum. Different things for us to discuss today. I am sure that you guys are going to enjoy the conversation. So I want to say a big thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like the video if you haven't liked it already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And please share with a friend. Share in your WhatsApp group where you discuss Nigerian football. Let's come on people tune in. Let's come on people chiming into today's conversation. Let's get as many opinions as possible. Don't enjoy this without putting your friends on. Put them on. So please share this in your groups. Share with your friends, family, whoever you like talking Nigerian football with. I see you, Adiola. I see you, Bright from Salford. Thank you very much. And just a quick PSA. If you're watching on Instagram, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on X, Twitter, please make sure you join us on YouTube. The only way that you can enjoy the full show uninterrupted is by joining us on YouTube. The show ends on other platforms after 10 minutes. So if you don't want to just watch 10 minutes and then be left, you know, wanting more, join us on YouTube so that you can enjoy the full show uninterrupted. Please, please, please. It's very important. Join us on YouTube. That's where we are live every single week, and sometimes more than once in a week. I literally just finished one live, ended that one, and we're live again to have this Nigeria FC podcast. So if you are from the previous live, shout out to you, man. You're a real one. Thank you very much. But if you're just tuned in for the first time today now, fine. I understand. Thank you for tuning in. I see you, Chinwen Dumunachi. Good evening to you. Johnson says hi from Sydney, Australia. Hi, Justin. I hope you are very well. Thank you for tuning in. we'll get the conversation going in just a bit. I'm kind of trying to buy time and wait for some more people to join. So keep sharing, keep sharing. And if you're on YouTube, guys, please hit the like button. It costs you absolutely nothing to like the video. It's a little way that you can support and send a signal to YouTube that we're creating good quality content. So please, if you're on YouTube, just I know sometimes it can be frustrating, but just take that 1 second to like the video. And if you want to support us in kind, throughout the stream, there's right beside the bar where you're typing all your comments, there's a little money sign that you can click on, and you can support the channel with a super chat. It's a little way that you can support the content that we create and to enable us to keep on putting out quality content. So please, throughout the stream, support with super chat. If you want us to highlight your comment on the screen, if you want us to answer a particular question that you have, you want us to discuss a particular topic that you have in mind, then leave it with a super chat and we'll be happy to do so. Somebody said I should be drinking enough water. That's a caring human being, because I've been talking and talking and talking, and you know some people don't know the efforts that actually goes into talking nonstop for what it's been almost 2 hours now, and I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours talking again. Um, I'm waiting for my co-host to join as well. We'll soon start finding Smith like £1 for every minute that he's late. £1 per minute. But I see you, Money B081. Hi, thank you for joining. Please make sure you join us on YouTube so that you can enjoy the full show. DJ Costa, please join us on YouTube so that you can enjoy the full show. Sleazy, join us on YouTube so you can enjoy the full show. Patrick, please join us on YouTube so that you can enjoy the full show. Our YouTube is Eagle Striker. You will see our beautiful green logo, and you can join the festivities. Thank you very much. Deji says, thank you for having Colin Odor on. Yes, very insightful conversation that I had with Colin Odor immediately following the Falcons game against Portugal. If you're on Instagram, you probably missed it because that was only on YouTube. But you'll be able to go to our channel and watch it still. After the show, you can go and watch it. We spoke about the Falcons, spoke about some of the team selection. And we'll get into the Falcons more tonight as well. Thank you, Sean Dida. Okay, for the sake of time, I'll keep waiting for Smith Lai to join us, but let us get into the conversation for today. Adiola says IoT is the MVP. Thank you, Adiola. Adiola is always fighting. If you're regular on this show, Adiola is always fighting me in the comments. But Adiola is still a nice person. Shout out to you, Adiola. Thank you. And Chinwendu, we've not even gotten to the conversation, but Chinwendu is already supporting with a super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Adiola said he said £2. Adiola said I should use the £2 to buy one bottle of water. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you. I appreciate everybody that supports, no matter how little or how much. Your support helps to keep the channel running and helps to um, you know, for us to keep on giving you these streams and creating more content. Digital currency says I know see you join. You did not drop the patch at digital currency. Okay, let me start today's show so that we don't waste too much time. Once again, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on X, please join us on YouTube, youtube.com/, Eagle Tracker NG, or you can just search for Eagle Tracker on YouTube and you will see our beautiful logo. You will see our content. Join the live stream so that you can enjoy the full show uninterrupted. Just a few ads here and there, but mostly uninterrupted. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. My name is Ayoti, and this is the Naija FC podcast, where we bring you our raw, our honest, unfiltered opinions on all the hottest and latest topics in the world of Nigeria football. For this week, we want to know who actually paid the money. This flight that after 9 years we are starting to have uproar about again, sparked by recent comments by John Obi Mikel, and then comments that were made by Samson Siasia as well, and then other people that were involved and that knew the inner workings of that 2016 Rio Olympics. We'll get into that today. A few Nigerian players have completed transfers. We'll kind of talk about that as well. And of course, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024 being played in July 2025 is coming up shortly, and the Super Falcons played their first preparatory friendly today. It was a goalless draw against Portugal. What do we learn from that game? How ready are we with the WAFCON coming thick and fast? We have one more friendly match against Ghana on June the 29th. We're going to talk about all of that and more on today's episode. So grab your cup of water, grab your cup of tea, your cup of juice. Maybe you drink something stronger. Grab that thing as well, and we will get into the conversation. You'll enjoy it, I'm pretty sure. So somebody, a keen observer, has already noticed that I'm rocking the new Super Falcons jersey. I like it. I like it. I don't know if you can see it properly. I like the jersey. It's very simple. It's very simple, but I like how clean and how beautiful it looks when you actually hold it in person. That's what the Super Falcons wore for their game against Portugal. And I'm just happy that they've they've been able to debut the kit. And I'll expect that maybe against Ghana they'll debut the away jersey, and then we'll see them really win games in it at the WAFCON. But personally, I like the jersey. If there's one thing that I always spend my money on, I always spend my money on Nigeria jerseys. Whether it be the Super Eagles jerseys or the Super Falcons jerseys, I love my jerseys, and especially Nigerian jerseys. I have to buy. So yes, if you have the means, if you are able to, get yours as well, man. Support the team. The WAFCON is coming up. We need to rep. We need to support Naija. Okay. As always, you guys know I like to start the show by doing a little bit of a review of the past week. Of course, most of the football season is done in mainstream Europe, but there are still some leagues that are going on here and there. And I just want to acknowledge the people that are still actively playing football and give a little bit of credit to them, at least, when they do something good. So I'll start by congratulating Daniel Daga. Daniel Daga scored his first league goal for Molde FK in the Norwegian Eliteserien. It was an 80th minute goal. His team won 3-2, having to come from behind in that game. He scored the equalizing goal for them, and then they eventually scored another one to win the match. So congratulations to Daniel Daga for that. Always a nice one when a young player continues to rise and does something good. I also want to just mention, I don't know if you guys watch or are watching the FIFA Club World Cup, but our own Onuche Ogbelu was in action this past week, as Esperance de Tunis earned a 1-0 victory over Los Angeles FC. He played 90 minutes in that match, his second appearance of the tournament, and he had quite a decent game. Still has things that he can fix in his game if he wants to really compete at the highest level. But I like the showing that he's putting out there in America, and I just want to say congratulations to him for that one. A few other players have been in action. Gif Monday was in action yesterday in the NWSL. Esther Okoronkwo scored one goal and assisted one goal for AFC Toronto in the Canadian Northern Super League. Esther Okoronkwo is low-key lighting that league on fire, so hopefully she can continue like that. Yesterday, there was also an Italian Serie B relegation playoff match. Unfortunately, there was a Nigerian on both sides. So one Nigerian had to go down to the Italian Serie C. The match was abandoned, so I'm not sure if it has been rescheduled yet. But as of the time of abandonment, Ebenezer Akinsomiro's Sampdoria is leading Simi Nwankwo's Salernitana 4-0 on aggregate. So it looks like Ebenezer Akinsomiru is going to avoid relegation from the Serie B, and Simi Nwankwo is more than likely going to be going down to the Italian Serie C with Salernitana. We never want our players to be involved in relegation battle, especially not relegation battle in Serie B. So not a good one generally, but it is happening. So just to update you guys on that one. I think those are the past week's performances that I'll talk about. And yeah, if you want to see all the different Nigerian players in action and who's doing well, make sure you follow us on our Instagram, on our X page, on our Facebook, so that you can catch all the updates at Eagles Tracker NG. That's that for the past week. And at this juncture, let me bring on my co-host. You guys know I don't do this by myself. My very knowledgeable friend, Nigerian Football Encyclopedia, Mr. Smith Lai. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. Another wonderful Monday evening, and
Yes, yes.
nice to be here again.
Thank you. Today you're rocking Nottingham first.
Yeah,
Okay. I decided to wear my Naija kit today,
yeah, it's lovely. It's
support
lovely.
the Super Falcons.
I really like it.
So yeah, it's been like,
Yeah.
let me get your opinion very quickly. Daniel Daga scored for Moda FK. What do you think about that? Are you still big on him? Do you still think that he has all the potential that we think or we thought he had?
Yes, it's a player that from when you start from underage to senior football, it's a very big jump. And forget about what you played in Naija. That's not senior football. Uh, I don't know. Well, maybe one of these days we discuss maybe Nigeria MPFL is a professional or is amateur. We'll talk
Hmm.
about that one later. So, but for me, I'm happy with Daniel Daga that he actually was called that goal. And it's about confidence. It's about confidence. But out of the three guys in the midfield for the under 20, Onushi, Toshiko Nandi, and actually with Daniel Daga, I still think that Onushi and Nadi they are still ahead of him.
Hmm.
But he
Interesting.
has the potential to actually to do well and be better. That is my take. So I'm happy for him, and I hope that he's going to have a very good season.
All right, amazing. And hopefully you can keep it going. It's just that playing in Norway, their league season is the calendar is different. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people will not be paying attention and be seeing how you're doing because right now everybody is either relaxing or watching the Club World Cup or waiting for the WAFCON to start or the Women's Euros or one of the other
Yeah,
competitions. But
yeah.
he did score that goal, and I want to just acknowledge him and give him credit. It's the first goal in the league. He had scored in the
Yeah.
cup before, but this is the first one in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, Smilai, you're always subbing the NPFL.
No, no, no. I'm a big fan of the MPFA, but it's
Hmm.
just that when something is real, we
Hmm.
want to talk about it.
You say it.
And
You say it as it is.
yeah, and there's going to be a lot of great things. Not talk about it here. So we have to say the way it is. It's not as if I don't like to. I'm not diplomatic in talking. No, we have to say it the way it is.
Hmm. Hmm.
If somebody has 16 fingers, count it.
Hmm. Okay. Smilai,
Yeah.
let's talk about transfers.
Okay.
Super Eagles players have been on the move.
Mm-hmm.
Today we won't talk about Victor Osimhen, just so you guys
Yeah.
know. We're not talking about Victor Osimhen today.
Yeah.
We'll let him rest today. But some Super Eagles players, quote unquote, have
Yeah.
been on the move.
Yeah.
Samson Tijani has joined Dukla Praha in
Mm-hmm.
the Czech Republic. Samson Tijani, of course, was a young player that people were very big on back in the day.
Maybe you.
Captained the youth team, got called up, even though at the time, if you guys remember, at the time I felt it was undeserved. But
Benjamin Fredericks call up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That type of call up. Oh,
Yes.
your house is 10 minutes from the stadium. Oh, yeah, come. That kind of
Call up.
call up.
Yeah.
So he got called up previously to the Super Eagles squad. It did not quite pan out for him at all at RB Salzburg. They
Mm-hmm.
deemed him very much surplus to requirements. Each
Mm-hmm.
season, sent him out on loan to their feeder team, sent him out on loan to teams here and there. Last season, he was playing in Norway, and now he has joined Dukla Praha in the Czech First Division. Of course, we've seen different Nigerian players that have had success in the Czech Republic. Peter Olayinka, current Super Eagles centre back Igor Ogbu is still playing in Czech Republic. Do you think this is a good step for him? Do you think that he can actually develop now and become the player that people thought he could be?
No, I hope his story will be like the popular Yoruba proverb. So that if sheep use back walk, it comes back to with strength. I hope that because let's be honest with ourselves,
Which proverb is that? I don't know that one. Which proverb is
it's
that?
like if Tagboba Fenyere, he go bring strength.
Hmm.
The one they use for what's it called again? The sheep they go use to ram. If ram walks backward, he comes back with strength.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
man.
Hmm.
So he's going backward now. Let's be honest ourselves. Dupla Prague is slightly a level below, not to like 2 or 3 level below Salzburg. Someone is dominating the Austrian league, also competing in the Champions League. So, and you
They
said
are
something about
currently in the Club World Cup as well.
Club World Cup currently on the verge of crashing out. So, so one thing that you said something that people are big on Samson Tijani. I don't know, maybe we watch football differently. I watch Samson Tijani when he played Wafu in the Gay Republic. I watched him when he went to Angola to go and play at 17 AFCON. I watched him when he went to Brazil to go and play on 17. He captained the team. But the problem is, he's not our traditional midfielder. Everything you see him do is with strength and strength. When I saw him play, I knew that this boy, it's just for him to find one small club and enjoy himself. Let's be honest with ourselves. See, it's not a traditional the Wakalis, the traditional Mikels of these words, Olusegun Oladapo of these words that we saw at a very early age. The strength is there, but the technique and everything is not there. So I'm not surprised that it's surplus to requirement. I don't know how Salzburg signed him. I don't know the scouting report. I don't know how they signed him, but I just hope that he can go back and perform well. Czech Republic now. That was when Georgie Igor is still playing there. There's a guy that went there. So we have a lot of people that don't really actually do well, perform well so it's just that opportunity. He had a very bad injury too. Just
At some point, yeah.
at some point. So for me, I hope that he can actually perform well. But I can tell you, football now that a 17-year-old, 18-year-old is dominating, time is not on his side. He needs to hit the ground running. I wish him luck.
Yeah, and I mean, just for context, Dukla Praha is by no means a big team. They are a team that were in the relegation battle in the Czech League
Yeah,
last season. So just like you said, this is him actually taking not one, not two, multiple steps backward in, you know, trying to come back forward with strength, trying to
mm-hmm.
revive his career. I mean, Samson Tijani is how old? I think he's still 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So all hope is not lost yet. If it was 27, 28, it's a different case. But
Mm-hmm.
if he does well in Dukla, Praha, he
Mm-hmm.
can be seen by some of the bigger teams in the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
From there, if he does well enough, maybe he can attract a Slavia Prague, a Victoria Pilsen.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the
He
top
needs to
teams.
get playing time first.
Yes, I mean, I think if he does not start in Dukla, then we have a different problem, a different kind of problem altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can do well there, I think maybe he can earn a move to one of the bigger teams in the Czech Republic, the Slavia Pragues, the Sparta Pragues, the Victoria Pilsens, and then from there potentially playing the Europa League or the Conference League, and then maybe he can still get a move to a Belgium or a France or something. I'm hoping for him. Is as much as sometimes maybe you don't necessarily think a young player is as good as some people say he is. I
Yeah,
never want anybody to do badly. You always wish everybody all the best. You speak objectively about them, but you wish them all the best. And even the
yeah.
ones that you're not big fans of, the prayer is always that let them go and prove me wrong. Let them
Mm-hmm.
go and show themselves and show that I was wrong about them. And I know that he has been through a lot of struggles. So hopefully, maybe taking this step back where there is little to no pressure might be a good thing for him. We have to see how that turns out. But we wish him all the very best, man. Samson Tijani. Um, to Dukla Praha. Okay, let me move on. Smilai, another transfer that we've seen completed is another Super Eagles midfielder, made one cap for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the past, Anderson City. Now 31 years old, obviously getting towards the latter stages of his career, played most of his career at the peak level. He was playing for Ferencváros in Hungary.
And Gents too.
Yes, and yes, he did have a spell against. And then now he has taken his talents to Diosgori VTK, another Hungarian side. DVTK. This is a team that competes in Europe every once in a while. They finished second in the no, this past season in the Hungarian league. They didn't finish second. They finished sixth. So they are not in any European competition. But Ferencváros, who was his former team that won the league, they already shipped him out to ZTE in the previous season. What do you think about this transfer? Do you think it's a good step for him? It seems to be a veteran in the Hungarian league now. But what are your thoughts on the transfer?
He's been around for a while. I remember he played in the World Cup qualifier against Zambia in the Lusaka when we
Mm,
won the game by 2 goals to 1. And when he was in Gent, he It was tipped to go to Tottenham. It was even close to Uni Sports to go and replace Victor Wanyama, at Tottenham Hotspur. But it did not materialize. Nice that he's still around, not retired yet, not in the NPFL. But I just think that now he should be ready to take anything.
Mm.
Because the level of competition, is might probably not be at his best shape now. So, and when you get a certain age, that you start to assure to go down. So you're not Messi, you're not Ronaldo, Sometimes the nature, the body will kick in. So, and I'm still happy for him that he's still playing, but you never know, you know. For me, I don't know, maybe he has not ever heard about Saudi Arabia before. Maybe someone needs to tell him about Saudi Arabia. I'm always scared to talk about Saudi Arabia because of what is going on. But for me, I just think that at this time around, he should be thinking about life after football.
Mm.
But he did well in his own right.
Mm.
One of the first player to play under Ganesh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move forward. Let's talk about this time a Super Eagles defender, active defender, still playing for the Super Eagles regularly. Shemilogo Ajayi. He has signed for Hull City in the EFL Championship on a 2+1 year deal. Now, some people were saying, championship, championship, championship. Why does he keep playing in the championship? Why doesn't he go abroad? Why doesn't he go somewhere else? We don't want Super Eagles player playing in the championship. Of course, Shemi is on the older side now. He's no longer a kid. Last season played for West Bromwich Albion. Of course, he had his fair share of injuries that kept him out for a period of time. But similarly, when you look at this, do you think this is a good move for Shemi Ajayi? Cognizant of the fact that Hull City almost went down last year, can Shemi be the one to keep them up? Do you think this is a good move?
The way Shemi is going, maybe we play League One last. But on lighter notes, I just think that see, let's be honest ourselves. No Premier League club will sign him.
Hmm. But
No
he's a
Premier
former
League.
Premier League player.
Which did he perform in the Premier League?
He did
Did he
okay.
perform? He only played well against Liverpool. That was the only game he had. That he played against Liverpool. The other ones now. He didn't do well there. He didn't prove himself. He wasn't like the mainstay in that team. Injury didn't even help him. He was in and out of the treatment table. So for me, I think that I don't know, maybe all these indie boys, they like to stay in their comfort zone sometimes. He wants to be going to that whiskey there, going out in London.
Yes, hilarious.
So he wants to stay maybe probably around families and things like that. So, but for me, I just think that why can't you be like Gabriel Ochoa and try new things when you go relegated with the team? Why can't you go to German Bundesliga? This guy went on trial in Ajax. He came back home in his early years,
Hmm.
though he failed the trial, but he came back home. So for me, I just think that just top level football would have been better. But these guys, they don't care. What they want to do is just to stay in that London and be doing their indie boys and be,
But
dressing.
all is not London now.
Yeah, but how many minutes is? You see, anywhere. I've seen footballers that live in London, party in Manchester. See, I will not mention one player that I don't. When he just joined Liverpool now. I will not mention. Ghanaian Reggie. He can party anywhere. You know the guy I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So they move around. You
Hmm.
see, it's UK. It's UK.
Hmm.
So for me, I think maybe probably he likes to just to be to be around his family. I wish him luck. But see, if he spoke to Eric Shell before making that decision, that is fine. If he didn't speak to him, if he didn't select him the next time, he should not be upset.
Hmm. But
If Balogun still play in the first league in Greece.
no, see, okay, but here's the question that I'll ask here.
Mm-hmm.
Should he not get selected simply because of the club that he plays for? I mean, he was playing in the championship since he was getting all these call-ups. So if he's
Mm-hmm.
still playing in the championship, why can't he continue to get call-ups?
No, so you see, the issue is just that you know sometimes when you progress, the level of your game increases. For example, now, okay, Semidu Gajai have been playing for Nigeria. Can you remember one of his best games? He's just been there. But you can pick Kavin Bassi because Kavin Bassi is improving. there's some level to that improvement. Though he's making mistakes too, but he's been improving. You see Kevin Bassey. But I guess it's just been there, It's like you close your house without, with just a small door so that goat will not enter. That's what I see. So for me, in my own case, I just think that Wakati are trying new there. It's 30, 30 on his document. Don't forget that this guy played the same on the edge with Ndidi. People don't know that they were together in 2013 under 20 was under 20, but he got dropped for Ndidi. In 2013 World Cup going to under 20. So in my opinion, I just think that why can't he just okay his career? Let's try top level football small. You still come on championship and come and play 36 there. So, but for me, I wish him very best of luck too. I hope City can perform well, can be the new League City, League United of next season. But the way they are going, they are signing free players, free players. I don't think they are going to really the next list. Maybe probably to survive relegation again.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was like, why is he joining a team that is battling relegation in the championship? And it's not as if the team is showing a lot of ambition to
Mm-hmm.
really, do something great. But I really do hope that it works out for him. Honestly, I like Shemi Ajayi. I think he's one of those very quiet, calm, just does his job and doesn't make too much noise about it type of players. And I definitely don't want to see him play in League One. We should also just look at the fact that maybe this AFCON and potentially the World Cup, and he might want to call it quits and not keep playing international football. Who knows what kind of plans that
Mm-hmm.
he has for himself? I don't know. Maybe he has family in Hall. Maybe he just likes the environment, or like you said, maybe it's simply a case of not really wanting to step out of the UK. He might look at it that he's at the end of his career. If he did not go to Spain or to Italy or to Germany when he was younger and at his prime, why should
Mm-hmm.
he be making that kind of exploitation or
Mm-hmm.
explorative move right now? And maybe Saudi is not so interesting to him. He doesn't really need the money that they'll pay him there because really, self is a center back. He wasn't a
Yeah.
superstar. How much money is he going to command in Saudi? So
The league will be decent. Yeah?
no, it will be decent, but let's say if maybe they want to, maybe they say they will pay him 3 million now, for example. That's probably more than what Hull City is paying him. But by the time he looks at being away from family, traveling multiple times back and forth, all the other factors, yeah, like he probably has 1 million in his account, or 2 million in his account, or 3 million in his account already.
Mm-hmm.
So he might just look at it and say, it's not really worth it like that. Let me just do my things at home, take care
Yeah.
of my family. I don't know if he's married, but he
Yeah.
just wants to live his quiet life. So I wish him all the best. I mean, it wasn't an exciting move. For me, it was like a 5/10 move, but I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
And speaking of Super Eagles players on the move,
Yeah.
another Super Eagles centre back who has not been in the team recently completed the transfer. This one shocked me. I won't lie to you. This one shocked me a little bit because I did not think that this was the country that he was going to end up in. But Leon Balogun has joined Aris Limassol in Cyprus.
Yeah, is it Greece?
No, it's in Cyprus.
Oh, I thought it was Aris Solinka.
No, 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 no. It's Aris Limassol in the Cypriot First Division.
Oh,
So this is the league that houses Francis Uzoho. This is the league that houses Adebayo
Adebayo.
Adile. I was surprised because even it's funny. The same thing. I also had to do a double check.
Yeah.
Is it Greece or is it it's the Cypriot league? 1 year contract, so it's for a short time. What are your thoughts on this transfer, Asmilai?
I have to change my thought too. I thought it's I thought it's actually was the Greek league, but we have to be honest ourselves. Balogun is a class defender. Balogun always shows himself, and always performs well. When he wears jersey. For me, he just needs to be fit. But I thought he's playing the Greek league, which is probably what higher than the Cyprus league. I wish him the very best of luck there. He's a guy I really respect. He's another player similar to Victor Osimhen, type of character, for national team. So if he's fit, Balogun will give you solid 45 minutes Super Eagles. So for me, you know, it's not really about that. I know it's another base staff for Super Eagles sports. I just wish him the very best of luck. You should go and enjoy the holiday sports in Super Eagles.
That's what I was thinking of. That Abi, is it just he wanted to enjoy? He has been in the UK for too long. He said, "Let
Yeah,
me go and enjoy nice weather for one season in
yeah,
Cyprus."
yeah.
Because I was honestly very shocked. I mean, it's only a 1 year deal, we also have to be aware of the fact that I think Leon Balogun is 36 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he's closer to retirement than he is to, staying in
Yeah.
football. I
Yeah.
was just shocked. Maybe it's also an opportunity for him to play in Europe because Aris are going to be playing in the Europa League qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
So what comes to us, maybe they drop and they end up in the conference league.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that was what he was looking at. That okay, nice weather, chance to play in Europe, why not? I don't know how much they offered him, but when I think of money, I don't really think of Cyprus as a place that pays that much money. So I don't want to say that it could have been the money that enticed him to join them. I was very surprised by it, but they made it. They did not even make. We did not hear too much about it. It wasn't as if we were hearing rumors or anything like that. We just saw him. He has done medicals. He's already in training after
Mm-hmm.
his holiday. But Milaya, I'll ask you this question. Do you think, you know, there's any chance now of a call up? Because before we were talking about how he's doing well for Rangers. He's playing well in Rangers. We saw him, he was playing in the Europa League against Man U, all these teams, and putting in good performances. And even then, they were ignoring him. Now that he's in Cyprus, do you think there's any chance at all that he gets caught up again?
It is going to be difficult, And looking at, if we are complaining about calling players in a very limited league, the same energy we keep them then complaining about those players. We have to do something for Leon Balogun. But for me, I was saying that Balogun is just different. It's a different player. Some of these guys are talented, but they don't give their all when they're wearing the green, white, green color. So Balogun just need a trial under Eric Chair. I can tell you that he's going to come back. I'm sorry that I'm really actually was sad that he actually would miss that Unity Cup, all those things. So if he plays in that Unity Cup, for me, he will be returning. But it's very hard now because he didn't play under this man before, so it's going to be very, very difficult. So I think call up now is going to be very, very difficult.
Going to be very difficult. Yeah, I think so. And I mean, me, I've always been somebody that I used to say, don't just not call somebody up simply because of the league that they play in. But I just look at it that being realistic, if we have Calvin Bassey, we have even Igor Ogbu, we have Gabriel Oshaw, we have Torunariga, we have Akpoguma, all these other centre back options that play, some of them in the top five leagues, some of them in other top or not top, but mid European leagues. I just think that it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard. And even though he might be doing well there, it's also going to be hard for people to come and argue why his performance in Cyprus means that he deserves it. We'll have to also be looking at whatever he's doing in Europe, which we would also hope that they qualify for the Europa League and not the Conference League. Because if it's the Europa League, at least they will still have some competition there. But if they are playing in the Conference League and maybe he has a good performance against one Azerbaijani team, does that now mean that he should be getting caught up? So it's difficult one. But I like Leon Balogun as a human being. I like him as a man, as a person, as a player. Maybe this is just a time for him to enjoy some warm weather, man. Enjoy his family and just relax a little bit. Of course, it's coming towards the end of his career. So we wish him all the best, and hopefully it's it goes well for him, and no injuries, none of that stuff. Maybe that's another reason. Sometimes you don't think about these things, but it could also be a thing of okay, maybe he wants to go to somewhere that there's lower intensity to risk the frequency of his injuries and things like that. But whatever the case, we wish him all the best, and I hope everything goes very well for him. I really do hope so. So that's that on Leon Balogun. Um, I see Uche Chukwu says we cannot give Balogun opportunity. He has made the move and should not drop the standard. We should not drop the standard. Shout out to Uche. He's a member of the channel. Thank you for your
Yeah. So
contribution.
those are dropping comments. I are asking questions. Go and be a member of the channel. So you put your comment on.
Or drop your comment in the super chat.
Yeah,
Uh,
can be super chats.
Let me see. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. I think that's where I'll leave it for transfers. There are some
What
other.
about? I think it's confirmed to Omero.
Okay. Yes. 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 Kenneth Omeruo's transfer. I forgot about that one. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Another Super Eagles player, of course, Omero has been on the outside looking in for a period of time now. Omero is a well-traveled player.
Mm.
He has played every at this point. Omero has played in England. He has played in Spain. He has played in Belgium. He has played in Turkey.
Belgium?
Didn't he play in? Did he play in Belgium? Didn't he sign for
Okay.
Standard Liège?
I think he played for Ado Dieng in Holland.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, he did play in Holland on loan when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
He did play in Holland. Okay, yeah, he didn't play in Belgium. No, you're right. He played in Holland, played in England, played in Turkey, played in Spain, went to Turkey again, and then now he has taken his talents to Romania and is joining the Romanian Giants, CFR Cluj, former team of Philip Otele.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Omero to Cluj. Milai, your thoughts on this one?
Uh, I thought he's going to go to Kasempasa, or because he seems to have been doing Kasempasa for almost 3 times now. But for me, Balogun type move, going towards the end of his career. I know that he's a confident man, believe that he can still get back to that team, but the team is moving away from him very quickly. And now it's with CFR Cluj. They didn't win the league last time around. I don't know if they're competing in the any Europa competition now. Maybe they go to conference league. I'm
No,
not really sure.
Europa League qualifiers.
Because nobody qualifiers. So I think they lost the league last year. So for me, I wish him also luck too. So let him go there, be their first choice defender and see exactly what can she what come out of it. But for me, like just like Balogun, we should not draw the standards. Romania and Cyprus they're similar. We should not draw the standards. So I take. So for me, I think Omero too might deliver well when he's playing for Nigeria, but I think the team is moving away from those two guys. So that's my take.
I mean, Omero has been on the outside looking in for a while now. I know that he has not officially retired, but I'm sure he would know that his options are quite limited. But
Mm.
I mean, this CFR Cluj move to me is a move that can potentially put him back in the mix. I'll not lie. I look at it that Cluj is in Romania. It's not the strongest league in the world, but it is more respectable than, with all due
Cyprus.
respect, Cyprus. It's a league that at least you can say, okay, maybe, depending on how it does, depending on how they do in Europe, So it could be an interesting one. And Cluj is a team that usually wins the league over there, or if they don't win, they come second because they have Stoa Bucharest or Bucharest, that is the team that wins most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it can be an interesting move for him. Honestly, I really think so. I, it just depends on how he performs and how he can stay fit. Last few years for him have been riddled with a number of injuries. Yes, there's a lot more competition now. There's a lot more players now that are fighting for that spot. I have to check to see on the UEFA league ranking. I wonder where Romania is. I just want to confirm that very quickly. Because okay, so Romania is 26th. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
How about Cyprus?
Romania is the 26th best league. Cyprus is 19.
Hmm.
So maybe it's to me that I'm saying that the Romanian league is better, but according to UEFA, Cyprus is is
Mm-hmm.
better. But it's interesting. So it's like here's the thing now. So as I'm looking at it now, so Cyprus is even ranked higher than Ukraine. Cyprus is ranked higher than Sweden, ranked higher than Serbia, Croatia, Hungary, Russia. Those leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe they are ranking Russia low because of all the they're not playing in UEFA competitions right now, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's definitely not helping Russia. But it's interesting. It's interesting. So maybe the Cypriot league is not as bad as we think it is because
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to lie. I know they watch Cyprus league, so I don't really. It's only maybe if I want to focus on Nigerian player that I watch, and unfortunately, because the Nigerian players that are there have been goalkeepers. When you're watching match to see goalkeeper, it's not usually the most interesting.
That's why I don't really want Banjo Okoye.
If you
It's
are
not the
watching the
most.
match just to see the goalkeeper, you can just might as well go and watch the highlights. Then you see everything that the goalkeeper did inside the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so huh, I don't know. Somebody said Romania had a lot of scandals. That's why the ranking is low
And okay, let's do this way. When last do you even see a Romanian club competing? I think
at any real level. Mm.
you can see Cyprus club now.
Omonia,
So
at least Omonia, they do okay for Europa
Omonia
League.
is doing.
Mm.
So I see you surpass like the Serbian league now. You know that's okay. Some clubs still pop up. Czech league, but Romania, well,
Mm.
it's
Interesting.
tough. hmm
Interesting. Okay, so I guess I have to change my thoughts. Well, Cyprus then is not is not as, I mean, Romania is not as good as I thought it
hmm
was. So yeah, I wish Kenneth Omero all the best, man. Omero is one of the nice guys in Nigerian football. I will say that, but
hmm
obviously, nice guy cannot put you in Super Eagles, So
hmm
that's that.
Very lovely guy, yeah.
Somebody said Umweri is a rude person. Say, what about his beer parlor shop? Who is going to manage it? See, these Nigerian people, I'm going to defend this one now because we encourage players to use their money wisely,
hmm
set up businesses. Somebody set up a lounge. Yes, you might not like it too much, but don't now degrade this lounge and call it a beer parlor shop. It's
hmm
not a, it's a lounge, it's where the ballers go to when they're in Madrid. That's where they go to chill and they buy drinks and they spend money, and it's a business. Whether or not you like the idea behind the business, it's a business, and it's better than him taking that money and be giving it to young girls in Nigeria or something. I rather him do that, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that even when he was in Turkey, he still had the lounge in Madrid. So I'm sure that he has people that are managing it for
hmm
him. Considering how long he's been in Spain for, he probably has permanent residence in Spain,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that he can always go back there to do things when he needs to do them.
Yeah.
So don't call it a beer parlor lounge. Come on now, let's put some respect on Rose business. Okay, so final call. If you are watching us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, please make sure you tune in now on YouTube so that you can catch the conversation as we get into the juicy topics about who pay for playing, and then we'll talk about the Super Falcons as well. So the stream is ending on other platforms now, so make sure you join us on YouTube, and God will bless you as you do so. Shout out to Real K. Real K is saying Omero's race is run. His legs are gone. Zero pace. I mean, Omero, to be fair, even when he was young, has never been the fastest player on the field. Center backs are never that fast. I mean, today, we're seeing modern day center backs are quicker, but he has never been quick. But I mean, at this age, he has got his fair share of injuries.
hmm
It's only natural that he would have slowed down. It's only natural that he would have slowed down. We also have Uche Chuku. Uche Chuku, shout out to Uche over here in Canada. It says right now, Osho Akpoguma Torunariha should be considered. Omero and Balogun should go and rest. Hmm. So yeah, those are the thoughts of Uche. Somebody say, how do I do super chats? You have to be on YouTube to give.
Why can't you buy it? Can I buy
Let
stuff for
me,
you now?
I don't like that thing. Go go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. Eagle Tracker on YouTube. Right where you're typing your comments, right on that screen where you're typing your comment, you'll see a small money sign to the side of it. Click on that money sign. You can select any amount you want: 100 naira, 1,000 naira, 100,000 naira, 1 million naira, or dollars or pounds or euros, any currency you spend, even if you're in China, it accepts all currencies. So you can use that as a way to support. If you want us to highlight your comment, highlight your question, take a topic of conversation, please leave it in the super chat. It's a way that you can support channel and support the effort and what we do. I know you might be looking at me and say, it's when the new Nigeria jersey does not need money. The money from the super chats goes into things like helping us to pay staff, helping us to hire people to create more content, and just helps with the logistics of the channel so that we don't lose money on doing all this work and bringing you guys all this quality content. So thank you very much to everyone that supports and everyone that is going to support. I appreciate you guys. Okay, let us keep the conversation going. So hopefully I've taken all the important transfers. We know that people like Osai Samuel are probably going to move. Onuachu is going to move. Moses Simon's move. We're waiting for confirmation. When those are confirmed, we can talk more about them. But for now, we'll just highlight the confirmed ones. Okay, so like let's move forward quickly. There's this young goalkeeper, Atubolu. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people have spoken about him in the past, but he recently did an interview and he spoke about his intentions to represent Germany at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
He said, gone are the days where Germany had one superstar goalkeeper, Emmanuel Neuer, and nobody else could really compete. That now they have other goalkeepers, and he believes that he can come and compete, and he's looking at potential of being one of the first black goalkeepers to play and be a good player for Germany. Which obviously this intention has kind of, for all the Nigerians that were talking about him as a potential Super Eagles goalkeeper, I think that's kind of cancelled that. But similarly, I want to ask you because I think you've spoken about him in the past. Do you think that we are missing out on something great, or should we be okay with the fact that Atubolu has chosen to represent Germany?
For me, you can only choose. Let's wait till he's elected.
Hmm.
That's another thing entirely. See, one thing I want to tell a lot of people is that because he's telling us that he wants to play for Germany now, doesn't mean that he might not play for Nigeria tomorrow. He's a guy that loves Nigeria so much. Go and check his gloves. He's a green, white, green there. These guys they like Nigeria, but just realize that before you can commit to Nigeria, before you can go to where you are not even familiar to, especially if you have a white mother, and just put it that way, you know, and you know how mom has very close to their son, is you will do your investigation. For example, now go and ask Akpoguma how's the experience in Nigeria. So sometimes now you have to look for the safe bet, and the guy thinks that okay, looking at what is happening currently in Germany now, Stegen is not really the best, and we have is he Ortega, the second choice goalkeeper for Man City, kept in goal for Germany one time. So tell you that the level is not like that any longer. So he also fancies chances of actually of competing at that level. But for me, I think I don't really think that the guy is better than Mikel Okoye. I don't think he's better than Mikel Okoye, in my own opinion. I saw the goal he considered against Kole Osho, another Nigerian player, the Italy. So, just realize that it's a potential, but it's not a typical German goalkeeper. I think it's only Nigeria can play for, in my opinion, because the height,
Hmm.
is not there compared to the traditional German goalkeeper. So for me, I don't think it's in the level of even Otokonko. You know,
Really?
yeah, I don't think so. I think Otokonko we grow to be way better than him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
he
I
grow.
think what the boy is holding on to is the fact that Manonoya is old, Oliver Baumann is old, Ter Stegen is old. The Stuttgart goalkeeper that also keeps for Germany is 28 years old or so, and I think Atubolu is 23.
Mm-hmm,
So he's looking at it that okay, by the time Neuer goes, Ter Stegen goes, Baumann goes,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
is like kind of the next in line to come and take one of those spots that will be opening up in the
mm-hmm,
team. But I mean, I don't watch him that closely because I always say when they declare for Nigeria is when I'll start paying more attention to them.
mm-hmm,
But it's interesting that you say he's not as good as Maduka Okoye. You think Okonkwo has a higher ceiling than him.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You watch him against West Ham.
I don't remember. Did
Uh-huh.
did I
You
watch?
should not. You see how Kudus. Well, I don't want to single out those games. He saved 4 penalties too
Hmm.
in the German Bundesliga, but his form has been like this, which is not. They don't even fit to call him up to the national team. See, Germany is like a factory. People don't know that. Next season now, a 19-year goalkeeper might come out from nowhere.
Hmm.
Look at the other 19 goalkeeper. Might come out from nowhere and be first choice. So you have to play your cards close to your chest, when you're making that type of decision, in my own opinion. And I can tell you something that even before he made that interview, Nigerian coach reached out to him, Eric Shell. Yes, I can tell you that one.
Hmm.
He reached out to him through his assistant, Padova, that what's going to happen. They say, oh, he likes that they recognize that he's doing well back home too, but just wants to take time and see maybe we could get opportunity in Germany. That was the response.
Okay.
So it's not as if it was very dismissive and everything. He just said that, oh, that's it. And he's happy that he gets actually what reaching out. That's it.
Okay. We have to wait and see how he continues to go. I mean, let's see. For me, I just look at it that obviously the more the merrier, as long as they are good enough and
Mm-hmm.
they can compete. But right now, I feel very good with Maduka Okoye and Stanley Wambali. I think that you know they can compete with each other. They can provide a competition. But if one of them is missing, then we don't really have that
Back
third
up.
choice. Maybe until Okonkwo, comes
And I
in.
want to also ask you a question on your team.
Okay.
Will you be second choice to Sesega or second choice to South African based goalkeeper? First choice. Which one will you be? Which one will you prefer?
I mean, it depends on the person. It depends on the person. Now, if you like competition, you go and play behind test again. If you like competition and if you back yourself,
Uh-huh.
it really just depends on how much you back yourself.
Uh-huh.
If you think you are that good,
Uh-huh.
then you say, yeah, sure, I'll go and play second choice. And I'll use Maduka Okoye as an example. I
Uh-huh.
remember when Maduka joined Udinese,
Mm-hmm.
he joined as the second choice goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that don't like him in Nigeria were saying, he's going to go and be second choice. What's the big
Mm-hmm.
deal? He's going to
Mm-hmm.
be second
Yeah,
choice.
it's considered Watford.
That is considered Watford. I remember I chatted with Maduka's agents, and the guy told me, he said, watch, Maduka Okoye will earn the first team shirt. Because remember at that time, he had offers from Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
His agent said that we're not going to Turkey. He
Mm-hmm.
said, we're going to Italy. Watch. He told me, he said, watch, Maduka will become the first choice for Udinese. And he did.
Hmm.
And this guy that was the goalkeeper of Udinese was an older guy that had been
Yeah.
trusted.
It's just Sylvester Strauss, so like.
Yeah. They liked him, they trusted him. But Maduka went there and showed that, come on now, like I'm better than this guy. So I look
Mm-hmm.
at it that it really depends on who you are. It's different. If you're from Belgium now, that one, you're not going to be as good as Courtois. Don't waste your
Mm-hmm.
time. Courtois is the
Mm-hmm.
best goalkeeper. You
Mm-hmm.
know. But you might look at it that okay, it's like if you're from England, you say, okay, let me go and try. Maybe it's Pickford. Pickford is
Mm-hmm.
good now, but maybe I can get in there. But obviously, if you are ready to play now, then you would go and be back up behind the South African goalkeeper because you feel like that one you have an easier chance.
There's nothing that he will do that will displace one body. I can tell you.
Hmm.
There's nothing, I'm saying it here, that he will do that will displace the father. One, he get the clouds, let me tell you something, even the
Nwabali,
intimidation.
Nwabali already has the
Yes,
streets.
now even the intimidation from journalists, I can see the way they were bullying, they were doing unnecessary things to Maduka Okoye. Hey, second choice, see, I just a come, all those things. And when you say people don't accept you,
Hmm.
people don't accept you. No matter what the mistake we make, that's the way you say against Africa during AFCON, it don't pay it
Hmm.
don't put money for account. There's nothing he can do to displace him, I can tell you. So, do you think that somebody will not be talking to Maduka Okoye?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, no, Atobolu. About German now. We're talking about Maduka Okoye now
Oh, you mean
because
Maduka and Atubolu?
Atobolu,
Hmm.
yes, now.
Hmm.
So we're discussing now because they're both German. Look at Felisago. He was very close to Maduka Okoye when they were in London. So they'll be having conversations.
Hmm.
So for me, I think he picked the right choice. He should go to Germany, but he will come back later.
Okay. I saw, speaking of Felix, not the Agu, but I saw an interview that Felix Mecha did, where he was talking about being an Igbo guy and playing in Dortmund, and him and Chukwuemeka, they are close because they are both Nigerians. You know, even though that Chukwuemeka too is forming something that I don't know why he's forming. Instead of him to just quickly come and now that we don't have midfield, is when he should better come and enter the midfield because if we find player, he will not see spot again. People like Uchi are coming up. He should better come now before we fill up the spot. But I mean, I've always said I like Chukwuemeka as a player. I think he's a very good midfielder. But all those guys, in Mecha, I think that one was already missed out. But Chukwuemeka is not that he should wake up and know that he should come and play for Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That no major owner is because we didn't present our project well though.
Hmm. Did we have a chance with him?
Oh
Imecha.
no, it's captain.
No, no, I said, did we have a chance before?
I think we did.
Hmm,
Especially with the the brother I was talking about Nigeria initially
hmm,
that just joined Leeds now. It was just saying that even to come and play for Nigeria, there's Victor Osimhen, there's this thing. There was considering that. They had a chance to play for Germany, England, and they grew up in Manchester here.
hmm.
Yeah, so so they are very close to Nigerian community, but the issue is just that all these people they think that they. I don't want to go into that, but I think we had a chance. But even this people make a ten now, I think especially this boy in Arsenal, the boy with left foot,
Waneri.
yeah, we have a chance with that one.
You think we have a chance with Ethan Waneri?
Yeah. I think that one will he play for Nigeria.
The way he's going, you think he.
I think that one we if we go to the World Cup, we might see him in the World Cup.
Hmm, hmm. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, so like I have two other topics that I want us to take today. The the two there's Super Falcons. Talk about
Mm-hmm.
the WAFCON squad. Talk about the friendly that they played against Portugal. Then the
Yeah.
second one is now who pay for plane. Which one should we take first?
Let's talk about the Falcons first.
Okay, so we end with with drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Super Falcons WAFCON 2024 is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Our dear Super Falcons, the NFF have launched their campaign, Mission X, trying to spur the girls on to glory in Morocco. 24 player squad was announced. Goalkeepers, Chamaka, Unadozie, Tochukwu Oluwehi, Rachel Onachuku. Defenders, Osnachi Ohale, Shukra Zaladipo, Michelle Alozie, Ashley Plumter, Sikiratu Issa, Tosin Dimei, and Miracle Usani. Midfielders, Rashida Ajibade, Halimatu Ayinde, Deborah Abiodun, Jennifer Echegini, Tony Payne, and Christine Chebe. And then forwards, Francisca Odega, Chiwendu Hezuo, Ifeoma Onumono, Esther Okoronkwo, Risa Babajide, Folashade Jamilusi, Chioma Okafo, and Agbabola Asisat Oshuala. So it's like when you initially saw the list, what were your first thoughts?
The one I saw, I didn't see the one I didn't one on the NFF communication. I saw one on Twitter. I didn't see Oshola there, but I now check the other day when I saw Oshola there.
Mm.
It's nice for me. There's no perfect list. Let's just say that way. I know that there's go with one or two casualty there. For me, I just think that is balanced team. And well, I just have some questions on some few parts there. It's not a bad list. We suspect that it might be 60-40 or things like that. Well, there was nothing close to being 60-40, but we still see some questionable inclusion in this team. So I just and we got to go into the different departments too and talk about
Mm. Okay,
super.
let's take it. I mean, I already did a video talking about my thoughts, so but let me just repeat. Same way I saw it and I felt like it's one of those things where you're never going to get everybody that you think should be there 100% because at the end of the day, football is an opinion game. Coach might like somebody, might not like somebody. There are other intricacies that go into selection. So some players missed out, some have been widely spoken about, and we'll get into that as we continue the conversation. But for the goalkeepers, of course, we know that Chama Kanadozie is the only star goalkeeper that we have. But we also have Tochukwu Oluwehi and Rachel Unachuku. Oluwehi plays in Saudi, Unachuku plays in Nigeria for the National Amazons. A lot of people have spoken about Tochukwu Oluwehi's inclusion, saying that they don't think she should have been there. Her spot could have gone to a younger goalkeeper, maybe an Mole Oyono, maybe a Linda Jiwaku. Some people have also talked about Unachuku not being the best home-based option. So, like, what are your thoughts on the goalkeepers?
We know the first two. For the first goalkeeper. Is we discussed these things several times. If you have Chiamaka Nnadozie, it's good with Toshiko Oloy because you can't just throw these young girls, the fray. Just throw them, and at the end of the day, you don't even trust them. So for me, I just think that the third inclusion is what I don't really like. I don't know, maybe we are building for the past too or for the future because it was it Yewande that was a
Balogun before.
that was top choice goalkeeper
Mm,
during the World Cup. And now we are bringing another player, another goalkeeper that she's not even performed very well in the local league.
mm,
So, and I saw her play against Algeria. I think she considered against Algeria. She spilled
mm,
the ball, against Algeria. So, and people are talking about her size, can she carry herself very well? But that's not my business. For me, I just think that that choice goalkeeper should be one of the best on that 17 or that 20 that can just come and learn from Chima Kanadozie. You keep on saying that this thing. Before you know, the girl will be 30 years. And she's 30 now, she's going to turn to like Tochiko Louis again. So then we'll start again. Who's going to replace? So there needs to be ways we have to replace these guys. And for me, the first two goalkeepers perfect, and the third choice, I think he got it wrong. I think I would have gone for like maybe probably Fito Milano, though she didn't do well the last Super Six, but I think Fito Milano might probably be what's it called, the third best goalkeeper for me,
Hmm.
third choice. Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting one because we're not necessarily producing goalkeepers of the quality of Chiamaka Nadozie right now,
Mm-hmm.
or those that are showing us the potential. Because Chiamaka, since when she was much younger, everybody knew that this girl is is going to be something, and I remember she went to the World Cup as a very young goalkeeper. Then she
Mm-hmm.
came on and made her debut, and then she has not looked back since then.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, before then, Tochiko Oluwehi was the one that we used to rely upon. Some people that were talking about Oluwehi, like for me, I said it, like I understand that Oluwehi is past her best. Let's be realistic, she is
Mm-hmm.
past her best. She's now playing her football in Saudi and trying to
Not
rack.
even first, you first choice there.
No, she's not. So just trying to rack up some coins until she retires,
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Oluwe is that she has always been that reliable second option. That the game where Ronaldo is not able to play for whatever reason, Oluwe he comes in, and Oluwe is not going to make the kind of fantastic saves that Chiamaka is making, but she's also not going to sell game. She's just that, like, I don't want to say something disrespectful, but she's kind of like just that steady option that they're not going to give anything fantastic, but they're not going to make mistakes and cost you.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
Mm-hmm.
that steady option. With Unachuku, like you mentioned, maybe the coach is big on her. I don't really know. Or maybe it is just a case of the coach looking at her as, who else am I going to take? I don't really trust those other young players. And with the NFF, it's very tricky and interesting how they do their things because one time they're trying to push. I remember going to the last World Cup, they were trying to push the Monley or Yono girl
Mm-hmm.
into the team. All
Yeah.
of a sudden now, they are no longer pushing her. I don't know like what happened, why they changed their mind on her, but excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something interesting. But I think that regardless, our prayer, knock on wood, Chiamaka stays healthy throughout the tournament, doesn't get any red card, any suspension, and we will just pray that Chiamaka plays every minute of the tournament. We don't want to have to use any of our other goalkeepers. They can be there, help her in training, support, collect medal, but we don't want to have to use them at all. We want Chiamaka to be the one that plays throughout. Okay, let's talk about the defenders. Osinachi Ohale, Shukra Toladipo, Michelle Alozie, Ashe Plumta, Sikira Tuisa, Tosin Dimei, Miracle Lutani. Of course, Nicole Payne misses out because of her injury. But somebody like Rafia Timura also misses out despite being fit. Chidima Okeke also misses out. I'm going to highlight them in particular because Okeke was in the Paris 2024 Olympic squad. Rafia Timura was in the World Cup squad.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on the defenders?
Yeah, we saw the game today actually. So, and I was not really impressed with Miracle Zani. I was not really impressed with Ambrosani. Even Security is so not Security is Secret Ladapo. I was
Mm.
not really impressed. She was passing backwards to the Portuguese. I think very green. You know, she was there was one bus forward. And she actually was, let
She led the counter attack, yeah.
let the guy carry. She was meant to release the ball early. So nice.
Because I remember that moment. Onumonu was trying to hold her
Trying
run,
to hold that
trying to
road, hold
hold the
that
run,
road,
but
hold
she
that
did not
road.
pass it until
So for me, I just think that if he's going to fail, though the good thing is that he called up our regular four players. That's how he starts in the game. Tosin Dimai, Osnacho Ali, Michelle Alozie, and also Ashley Plumter. That's why he starts regularly. But the issue is that it's not looking good. Those coming up on that bench, defense line, not looking good. Someone like Sikira to Sugar Tadadapo, Sikira to Isa, and also the girl on the left, Miracle Usani. I like Miracle Usani very well, but I just think that her emotions, she's a fighter, but not with ability. I don't know. No, I said it here. That how come? she made that team ahead of the lady in London, Sorofia Timura. So, in my own opinion, I just think that that is where it got it wrong. And if we get one single injury in that defense and goalkeeper, we're out.
Hmm. I mean, it's a very interesting one because when I did my video talking about the squad, I also raised the question like, I know people look at her as a bright young player. They like what she has done for Edo Queens in the Super Six, things like that. But I just did not understand how she earned the spot ahead of Rafia Timuro. And I know Rafia Timuro, some people say, oh, she's not that good defensively. She's more of an attacking outlet. But she has been there. She has done it before at the highest level. She has also had bad games. Don't get me wrong. Timuro has had some bad games. But she has been there and she has that experience. And, she has had good games as well. And some people in my comments, I don't know if you saw, even somebody even said she's miles ahead of Michelle Alozier. In fact, that's what somebody in the comments said. I hope the person will reply in the comments after this video. But then watching the game today, I went into the game with an open mind that maybe I've just not been paying attention to her enough. And I know that yes, the squad arrived late, so they did not get to train. I know that. But just things like her instincts, her decision making, knowing when to step up, knowing when to hold, right positioning, being goal side of a player, she just seemed to be off. And if you watch the match, it did not take 10 minutes before the Portuguese people knew that now this place before chop today. And they were just going after her, and most of the time they were beating her, whether it was ball over her, whether it was ball to the side of her, whether it was nice 1-2 play, they were just harassing her throughout that game until when Ashley came on in the second half, we could see some more stability and we looked a little bit more solid. The man was having to cover up for her a lot in that game. Um, Even speaking of the man also did not have the best game against Portugal. I thought in the first 20-25 minutes, she wasn't as composed as she should have been. Eventually, she grew into the game a little bit more. But for me, I really do hope that if we need her at the WAFCON, she's able to deliver. I think that she might be able to hold her own against a Botswana or maybe against an Algeria. But I think of going to the knockout rounds and playing against maybe South Africa, and then she's going up against maybe Dlamini or Linda Motlalo. Those are dangerous players that have skills. The South Africans like to play ball, and they can really embarrass her. Or even going up against the Morocco, who might not have big names on paper, but we know that Morocco play quality football. And lest we forget, the Moroccans have hired the former Spanish World Cup winning coach as their coach. So you know that they are going to come and play good football. Morocco, all they're lacking is they're lacking the natural talent. Because if we had Morocco's structure, Morocco's organization, their coaching with the Nigerian players that we have, we will be competing at the highest level. Morocco have all that, but they just don't have the players like that. They are trying to develop. You see what they are doing at the underage youth levels as well. So I'm a bit worried, but I also don't want to raise an alarm because of one match. Let's see. I don't know if she will play against Ghana in the second friendly because Ashley might start that game and the coach might want to use a strong team to really know. But it did not look too good for us today. Um, But yeah, other than that, you mentioned the core of the defense, they're out there. Ashley, Ohale, Dimei, and Alozie. I just Sikira to Issa, I don't know how good she is really, honestly. Oladipo, I've watched Oladipo enough at AS Roma to know that she's decent, but she's not good yet. She's still somebody that makes some bad decisions here and there. And I know that this was not 11v11, but when they played in the not super, World 7 series after the season ended, I remember I was watching the World 7 series because Benfica was there, Roma was there, and PSG was also there. And I remember watching PSG against Roma. Ejegini cooked that girl. Ejegini just they dance with her during the game. I was just like laughing at because I sent it to her agent. I know her agent. I said, "Oh, well, see as Ejegini they do your girl," and we're just laughing about it. But Hopefully, if she needs to come into the game, she's able to do something. Today, she played at right back, which is not her natural position. So even though she can deputize there, but in the game against Portugal, you could see that she wasn't offering anything going forward. We can't hear you.
What's the natural position?
Centre back.
But yeah, she can play in the midfield too.
She can. I don't. I won't put her in the midfield. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's best for her to play right centre back, where she can deal with aerial balls. She can make blocks. Things like that. But on that right side, she doesn't give me anything going forward, running down that flank. In the
Mm-hmm.
friendly against Portugal, you could see that Tony Payne was almost not in the game. Because
Mm-hmm.
nothing was just coming up to her from there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. But like you mentioned, we are one or two injuries, God forbid, but we are one or two injuries away from having some kind of crisis in our defense. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, we cannot afford any injury to Chiamaka. We need to put Chiamaka inside bubble wrap. Literally, we need to put her inside bubble wrap. She does not even need to play against Ghana because, to be honest, we know what we are going to get from Chiamaka. Let's see Oluwehi first half. Let's see Unachuku second half against Ghana. We
Mm-hmm.
don't we don't need Chiamaka to play that match. Wrap her in bubble wrap. Make sure she gets to Morocco and gets to the WAFCON very safe.
Mm-hmm.
But for the defense, it's going to be interesting. Okay, let's move over to midfield. Rashida Ajibade, Halima Twinde, Deborah Abiodun, Jennifer Chegini, Tony Payne, Christy Uchebe. What are your thoughts on midfield, Bilal?
I don't think we can complain about the midfield.
Hmm.
This is like the normal midfield that we take, everywhere. The Brazil. I think this is midfield that went to the World Cup. So I don't think there's any other player there. I did not actually attend the World Cup. So for me, I think you expect also Chrissy to be there, Alimatu and the Deborah Biodun. You expect all these girls to actually to be there because they've been like consistent with our the national team. So for me, midfield I think is perfect. I don't think there's any comment I want to actually make about that. Midfield is perfect. I don't think there's any omission in that midfield line. Then if you want to go and bring what's that guy's name called? The very conversion here. From 20
Rita Chigbelu?
no.
Oh no,
Uh,
Esther Oyenezide.
because some people still want to make that business argument again. So, but for me, I think that this is good. This is a very good midfield. I
No,
think
I
it's
mean, I have to agree. I think this midfield list is exactly what anybody that actually follows and is objective about Nigerian football, this is the exact midfield list that you would select. Six of our best midfielders. I mean, they keep putting Ajibade in midfield instead of forward, but fine. I mean, she kind of played in midfield today. I don't know if that's where they want to use her, but of course, we know that Ajibade is best playing from the flanks. But as good as he gets, I think where the coach is going to have to make his decisions is which two out of Ainde, Abiodun, and Uchebe is he going to start? I think
mm-hmm,
that's the first decision that he has to make. Which two? Maybe if we're playing against a team that we might dominate, he might even want to play only one holding. I don't know what he wants to do there, but that's
mm-hmm,
going to be the decision. For me, I think the coach might go with Uchebe and Abiodun, mostly because Ainde, even though Ainde is the most experienced of the three of them, she's on the older side. She has had her share of injuries. She only came back and she played 9 matches until she played Portugal to make it 10. So she might not be at full strength to run and cover the ground like the way we know Uchebe and Abiodun can cover so much ground.
mm-hmm.
So that's one decision that I think the coach has to make. And then the other decision is who does he play in front of them? Does he play Tony Payne or does he play Jennifer Echegini? If you were the coach, which two out of those three holding would you play, and who would you play in front of them?
uh, I will play Alimatu and Christy Shebe.
You'll bench our
Yeah,
young girl.
yeah. I just think that those two get financial. If we're dominating teams, they can move forward. They can move forward, and anyone can stay behind. Christy can move forward. And actually will support the attack. Alongside Tony Payne. I'll play Tony Payne in that midfield because of the passes. I'm like,
So you would put Echegini on the bench.
if probably on the wings for me, or just I can't just do Tony Payne. I have to be Tony Payne
Hmm.
in that midfield like, because you need passes to open up. So Tony Payne is very intelligent, with the passes. So I know that Chigi can drive with the ball well. That's her start. She drives with the ball. She causes problem with the opponent. But I'll play Tony Payne honestly. But if he's a share as is handling the two of them, he will play Tony Payne and
We played two of them
He
together.
played two of them together. He's doing his 4-2-2-2. So he
Mm.
will play two of them together. That's it.
Interesting. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, honestly. It's a tough one. Unless the coach maybe even says, okay, let Tony play from the right, let Ajibade play from the left. Even though we're getting to the forwards, maybe you might have wanted to play Babajide from the left instead as a starter because she's done well in the past few games that she played and she had a good season with Tenerife. But that's why I'm not the coach. I'm not the one that gets paid to make these decisions. The other interesting thing is that Tony Payne this season playing for Everton, she played mostly as a false nine. I don't think that they're going to use her as a false nine in Africa though, because she doesn't have Tony Payne is a petite player. She doesn't really have that strength or this thing. I feel like if she's going up against some African centre backs, they might bully her because you know we want a more solid player playing up front for us, especially with the fact that we are not the most pass. Our play is not that intricate, so she might feel a little bit isolated. But I don't know. I'm tempted to say Echegini. I'll put Echegini ahead of Payne. The only thing is that I have to also remember that Payne is our set piece taker. Now she they cross everything. If she's not on the field, I don't know who's going to take set pieces. Maybe Ajibade will take set pieces. But I don't know, man. It's a tough one. Let's see what Coach Madugu does. The way he played today with Ajibade and Echegini side by side. It didn't really work out today, but maybe that's an idea that he has for how he wants to use his midfield. We
Yeah.
have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Okay, let's go to the forwards. Francisca Odega. A lot of people felt like, why is Odega there? She's past her best. She's not fast anymore. She doesn't have the legs. Smilai, what do you think about Odega's inclusion?
And for me, in today's game, despite that there's some shaky moments in that game today, but she got the crosses in the box. And if we should be honest ourselves, she's the only old fashioned winger we have in that team. Someone that can just dash through the wings. The girl, this other girl, Babagide Risola, she's inverted winger. We know that she wanted to ship the goalkeeper from that's not even being part of his program. And she's really inverted. This girl can, Ajibade is the most instrumental player in that team because she the same what Odega can do, Ajibade can even do it.
Mm.
So, but someone that can come off the bench, and come and just try and like want to dribble the right back or left back, get crosses in the box, hoping that Onomano or Oshala will be there. You know, that is we have that. We don't have that during the last Olympics. That someone that can just come. We need a winger in the team. I'm not saying okay, so like Moise Simon type of winger, someone that can just run against opponents and try and like get some crosses in. So for me, based on today's game, I can now understand why Madigu really actually wants out the guy in that team.
Mm.
I think he can give what Monday gives. Is it Monday gives? Yeah, cannot. Is it Monday gives? Gift Monday
Yeah,
cannot
give money.
give Monday cannot actually give in that team.
Mm.
Though I see think that they have removed one defender and put Monday gives there. Maybe that's Sikira Suiza, and put Monday give there. But looking at the whole thing, I just think that Monday gives have not been doing well for Nigeria as well as herself. You know, she was in a very good form when she came to what's it called? There was time when she came to, for me, she's not been doing well for Nigeria. Let's be honest herself. So she was not AFCON. She struck the bar. Remember the game against Morocco. But she's not been like performing. Odega already proved herself for Nigeria.
I remember that WAFCON when she hits ball. Everyone say, "Hey man, she should have been playing since."
Big bases, bases, but after that, what happened? After that, what happened?
Mm.
She's just that type of girl, like live on the moment. You look at the game against Zambia, and that player, what happened?
Mm.
Can you see? Oh, that's it. So I just hope that she will learn from this, but she keep learning. Last time, she didn't make the Olympics, too. so I just hope that she will learn. She will learn
Mm.
very well.
Okay, let's talk about because you mentioned Gift Monday missing out, and I had Colin Udo on my post-match live after the game against Portugal,
Yeah.
and Colin Udo was more concerned about the fact that we picked a college player in Chioma Okafor ahead of Gift Monday.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like that's where Gift Monday's spot should have been. Chioma Okafor, Malawian born Nigerian player. She plays for the
American born.
no, sorry, American born, but she's of Malawian and Nigerian descent.
Is
She plays for University of Connecticut in the USA.
mm-hmm,
She was nominated in 2024 for the Mark Herman Trophy. She was among the top 19. Um, that's the trophy that Echegini had won the year before, 2023. The
mm-hmm,
trophy is for the best college player. So
mm-hmm,
she was in the semi-final and the final 19. She did end up winning the award. So at least it just gives us the hints that okay, she's one of the best college players in the
mm-hmm,
USA. But going to an international tournament, she has never played at this level. She has never played professional level. She has never played even a friendly for Nigeria. Do you think it's too much of a gamble? And before you answer, this is something that even shocked me because we know that Madugu normally has a preference for home-based players or maybe those that they were in the Nigerian league before they went abroad. And now he calls this girl from college, which is something that we had not seen until Randy Wardrum decided to do it with Abiodun and with Echegini in the past. Do you think it's too much of a gamble to call her first time to the WAFCON? Or do you think that she can actually be a joker for us?
One thing that I want to tell you here, the girls are very playable. The girls are very playable. And the girl, you might call her a college girl. That's the way they call and the word of Nuga coach. And he did well for Nigeria. You might call her a college girl now. But she will not be in college for life. She will finish that college and she will become a full-fledged professional. The girl is a talent. And I went to do my research slightly on her. The girl is highly rated, a pure talent. See, let me tell you something. I rather have her ahead of Gift Monday. I rather have her. Like, for example, now, what did Gift Monday come and do for me in the 10 minutes ago? Well, I don't know what to expect from Gift Monday. But this girl is already on the back foot, wants to prove a point. So for me, it's a player that, not for now, the player will serve Nigeria in years to come. It's a guy that she's a girl that you will probably be very impressed, in years to come. So for me, I'm not really excited about that. See, you have Phenomenal Idofa, you still have Oshola Idofa, you have is it Ihezu? Is it there?
Ihezuo,
Uh,
yes.
yes, you still have Ihezu Idofa. So
Okoronkwo too.
Okronko, she's there. So Okronko is there. He was talking about money give. Right. So for me, I just think that in she might get a chance to play, but I can tell you that if this girl makes her debut for Nigeria, she will not look back.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I like you went to do my research on her. I went to watch some of her highlights I can find on YouTube of goals that
Mm-hmm,
she has scored. From what Colin Odell said he was gathering from people in the NFF, they look at her as a player that can provide versatility in terms
mm-hmm,
of playing across the front line, can play as a number nine, can play as a winger if
mm-hmm,
need be. It's just, I guess, throwing her into the deep end immediately is the part that some people are upset
mm-hmm,
about. They just feel like, why not call somebody that has been there before, that has done it, that has more of the experience,
mm-hmm,
and that we kind of know exactly what we are going to get. The thing that I would say about Okafor is that she does look like a good player. She If she clicks, she can be a joker because nobody knows her like that.
mm-hmm,
It's different if you've been watching her playing for her club and everything, and you're like, okay, the kind of
mm-hmm.
player she is. If it clicks, it can work out well. But if she plays and she doesn't impress, I think it's something that people will look at the coach and say, what were you doing? But at the same time, I don't know how much game time she's going to get because just like we listed, we have Onumonu, Oshuala, Ihezuo, Okoronkwo that I would expect to start ahead of her, at least those four. Okoronkwo
What
can.
about Fahadi Gabriel?
That one, she and Ijamilusi might fight for a shirt. Ijamilusi will probably be ahead of her as of today because Ijamilusi has already played for Nigeria before, and she's a pro. Now she's in China. So she'll probably be ahead of her. But I feel like that's probably going to be the easiest person for her to displace
Mm-hmm.
because the rest are better players than Jamilusi. Okoronkwo also provides that versatility of Okoronkwo can also play from the wing if need be. Onumonutu also has a little bit of that versatility and can play from the wing if need be. It's just going to be interesting to see how Coach Madugu sets his
Mm-hmm.
team up. And even though Ajibade is listed as a midfielder, I look at Ajibade as a forward player. Ajibade is someone that you want to play from the flank if you want to get the best out of her. Play her through the middle, and she will try her best, but you're not going to, get all her natural abilities in terms of her pace, her energy, um, and chance creation and things like that if she's playing from the middle as much. So it's going to be interesting. Um, some people are not happy with Ihezuo because of the Olympics, and they feel like she missed too many chances. But like, what do you think about that one?
Enzo is a very good player. She was unlucky during the last Olympic Games. So I know that she'll be back and she's going to do well. So, um, I just think that, Izu is a fantastic player. Is a guy that can deliver for Nigeria, especially on the African continent. Most people don't know that Izu, actually played and scored like, was it 5 goals, 7 goals for Nigeria before? So for me, I'm really actually happy that Yezu is there. I think that he can actually he can do well for Nigeria. So for me, the strength itself alone is not we don't have that. We don't have that anywhere. So I think we have packed in the forward line. So I hope that Mandru can have that courage to play this young player, so that at the end of the day, we can actually get the results. So in my own opinion, I think Yezu, can actually can play. But just like we're so packed in that forward line and very thin in the defense line.
Yeah, it's just we have a lot of forwards. We have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
strikers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to Super Eagles, honestly, where we just have that many forwards and we don't really have that much in defense. Okay. I don't know who's asking the question here. So what's the difference between a college player being invited to Super Falcons and an academy player being invited to Super Eagles? Do you think it's the same thing?
No, I don't think it's the same thing. I think college is close. After college now, what's it called? Shigide became a professional. She left for Juventus or so. Even and when she was even in college, she was already competing at a very high level. We have, I think, well, academy player in male football is slightly a bit actually tricky because you know the gap in male football is very wide. For me, I think the female football is different. You guys, the game they play today, so many loose passes and everything. I think the female game is still far behind men's game. So the intensity is not really there. So that's why you can see the gap between college and what's it called and professional. There is not really that wide. So,
No,
but in football, yeah, it's
yeah.
football. I think in men's football, I think academic football to level football is the gap is very
No,
wide.
and I agree, and we're talking about college in the USA. We're not saying she's playing for Unilag or for Futo.
Mm-hmm,
It's in the USA. The reality of it is that a lot of the players that go to college in the USA and play, they could already be playing pro if they
mm-hmm,
wanted to.
mm-hmm,
For example, like in Nicole Payne, she's the one that wanted to graduate and have her degree before she went pro. Eche
mm-hmm,
Guinea as well wanted to just finish before going pro. A big part of it is because women's football is not as rich as men's football. So a lot of them like to get their degrees because it's something that they can fall back on when their career is done. It's
mm-hmm,
different. They're not like Osimhen that by the time they retire, they would have 80 million saved in the bank or anything like that. In women's football, for your whole career self, if you add it up, you might not even see it 10 million, I be 1 million self, depending on the level that you are playing at. So a lot of them like to go to college and have their degree so that at least when they're done, like somebody like Carlos now, for example, whenever she's done, she has her degree, she can always work as a medical researcher, she can always make money still and be relevant to society. So I think that is stuff like that that people should consider. And the level there is high enough, it's high enough. And the only thing is that obviously in the American system, there's different levels of college football. The positive thing is that she plays in the NCAA Division One, so at
mm-hmm,
least you know that she's playing at the high level. Obviously, UConn is not like one of the strong schools in the USA. Like for example, Echegini was playing for FSU, Florida State University. That's one of the strong schools when it comes to soccer, quote unquote soccer in the USA. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think Tony Payne was playing for, was it USC Southern California? They are also one of the top schools when it comes to football soccer in the USA. So UConn is not really a football school. UConn is more of a basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing. But still, the fact that she was nominated as one of the best players, it shows us that she has something there. She's a goal scorer. She provides assist. We just have to wait and see. I understand. Like I see both sides of the argument. I understand the people that are not happy with her inclusion and think a player like Gift Monday should have been there ahead of her. And I understand the people that feel like she's good enough and could have been could have been there. And there's also other intricacies and factors that go into this selection that we're not be thinking about. The only thing that I wish I wish we could have the coaches do an interview or a press conference, answer questions and tell us, oh, I called Chioma Okafor because XYZ. I did not call this person because XYZ. At least though, whether we agree with you or not, we are not speculating. Because now we are saying, oh, maybe the coach wanted this. Oh, maybe it's because of that. Maybe because of versatility. We don't know for a fact. But if the coach actually came and spoke to us, we would know exactly what went into your decision making and we wouldn't have to do any speculation. But we are from Nigeria, so let's stop asking for impossible things. Um, but yeah, anything else you want to say about Super Falcons squad? Smilayan?
No, I can just wish them the very best of luck because I just think that it's a fairly strong side, And if you look at this, only apart from Rofia Timino, probably responded. The team is that's what we got. That's what we got. I said you want to go and break the MMSN and everything. That's what we got. That's what we got.
Are
So
you confident going into the tournament?
yeah. I'm confident. I'm confident. I think the girls in coaching, capacity. I'm not really confident, but I think the girls can just do the job. If we don't have Moroccan VR again, because you need to select those doing the VR this time around. If we don't have the Moroccan VR, and there's going to be all these VR scam there, I don't want that. I won't just want. If it's purely football, then yeah, I want.
I also believe that the quality of the players is something that can take us over the line. I think
Mm-hmm,
we have good enough players that the coach just has to do the bare minimum in terms of
mm-hmm,
his setup and his selection. And
mm-hmm,
the players have enough quality to carry themselves. Because the group stage, I'm not too concerned about. I think that those are teams that we should be beating and we beat most of the time. It
mm-hmm,
now comes to the knockout. When we play against the Zambia, when we play against the South Africa, when we play against the Morocco, who do you select? How do you organize the team?
mm-hmm,
The players have the quality, but if the coach can just get the little details right, I think that we can go all the way. We are always there. We know we're always going to be there. It's just the little details that matter. Last time we were a bit unlucky with the two red cards.
yeah,
And we went all the way to penalties and we lost on penalties. That one it can happen.
mm-hmm,
Um, so this time around, let's just get all the little details right. And it was so funny because that 2022, it was two key players that now went to get that red card. Two players that normally you don't expect, anything for them to put a foot wrong in Ainde and Ajibade. And it was two of them that got the red card, but they still did well and went to penalties against Morocco. So we hope that this year, I know that Morocco, they have a quality coach. They are going to come and try to play at home and to win it at home. South Africa, defending champions, they that South Africa always feel like they are better than us, so they are going to want to come and show themselves. And then Zambia, they have the Banda, and Kunanaji leading them, and believing that they have all it takes to go and compete and show that they are as good or better than the Super Falcons. So it's going to be an interesting one. It is going to be an interesting one. We wish the Falcons all the best. We'll watch the second game against Ghana on the 29th of June. My only thing that I was saying is that I just wish that the NFF did better with their organization and preparation. Because this match that we played against Portugal now, in my mind, I was like, it was almost a pointless match because the players are arriving only a few hours before the game. They haven't done a single training session. They have to go and play. Most of the squad, let me not say most, but like almost half of the squad is not there yet. No, it was Ainde and Ajibade, not Ohale. Don't distract me. It was Ainde, and I'm 100% sure. Um, so we went to this game, arriving late, players not available, no training session before the match. Now today is 23rd. They, let's say they travel tomorrow, out of Portugal. I, knowing the way Nigeria do, we are probably not going to fly into Morocco straight. We'll probably still fly to Nigeria first. So let's say they fly back to Nigeria tomorrow. They arrive tomorrow night in Nigeria. Then let's say they arrive. Even if you tell them to train, 25th they train, 26th they train, 27th they train, 28th they will fly to Morocco on the 28th. They will play match on the 29th. Then they will have maybe three more training sessions before they go for the first game. So we're looking at maybe six, maximum seven training sessions before the WAFCON. I hope that that's going to be enough for the coach to get the team organized and to get the team playing well. One of the things that Randy Wardrum spoke about in my interview with him, dropping this week on Wednesday, he spoke about how a lot of people don't understand what it takes to actually organize and get a team to play the way you want to play when you only have two, three training sessions before you go to a tournament or before you go to games. Because people will be saying, "Oh, why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing that? Oh, why are we defending so much?" And it's like, there's no time. There's no time to actually get them to play the way you want them to play, because even going into major tournaments like the 2023 World Cup, where we were supposed to have 6 weeks of training camp, and then last minute NFF canceled the camp and they said, "Oh, you only have 10 days." So it's like now you only have 10 days to organize everything, whereas your opponents have been practicing for weeks. So it's I just hope that we get the organization part well, because if we don't, the other teams are not coming to joke. They believe that they can beat us. And see, hmm, I don't want to predict bad things for Nigeria, because I want and I trust in the players so much, but anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. So we need to play our parts. We need to play our parts. Okay. Shout out to everyone that's still tuned in. Please, if you haven't liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. Even if you are watching on replay, you can still like it. If you would like to support the channel, please make sure you leave a super chat. Support us, support us. I know you might not necessarily want to give us your money like that, but just support, support. It helps us to keep creating content, helps us to pay staff, helps us to do all the logistical things behind the scenes. So please, if you have the means, £1, $1, $10, $100, £100, any amount that you're able to give is largely appreciated. If you want us to highlight your comments, leave it with the super chat. If you want us to take a question, leave it with the super chat. And thank you very much to everyone that supports. Okay, Smilai, let's wrap up our last topic for today. The question that does not want to disappear from Nigerian space. After 9 years, it has been resurfaced. Who paid for the plane when we went to the 2016 Rio Olympics? What has brought this back into the forefront was a podcast appearance that Mikel had on Peter Crouch's podcast. If you are not if you're older than 23, you should know who Peter Crouch is. Maybe the teenagers might not necessarily know Peter Crouch like that. But Peter Crouch, former England striker, former Liverpool striker, you know. And Mikel Obi spoke about how the infamous incident at the 2016 Rio Olympics, when the team went to Atlanta, were stuck in Atlanta, and he said he had to pay for a plane, £250,000 or dollars. I'm not sure which currency it was, but he had to pay 250,000 for a Delta plane to take the team to Rio, Brazil, for the Olympic Games. Now, Bumi Jinadu, who is a football businessman in the USA, I believe that he's part of United Soccer, that has actually brought the Super Eagles to the USA in the past for friendly games. He was the one who hosted the team in Atlanta during the 2016 Rio Olympic prep. He brought the team to Atlanta as part of a celebration of the fact that it was 20 years from the Atlanta 96 Olympics, and that was when Nigeria became the first African nation to win Olympics gold in football. He said in an interview that He was actually the one that spoke with the Delta um, executives, and Delta donated the plane to the Super Eagles, or rather to the Olympic Eagles, for free. So he's saying he doesn't know why Mikel Obi is claiming that he's the one that paid for it. And then now, Samson Siasia, the coach at the time, has come out in an audio and also said that while Mikel Obi covered other things like maybe hotel costs, feeding costs, and other logistical costs that they had, miscellaneous, he did not pay for the plane. Some people said no, no matter what, they are going to believe Mikel Obi because why would Mikel lie? But those that are saying Mikel are lying are also asking the question that why is he lying about this? Why is he trying to take credit for it up till now? So Smith, like, I know that you've been a long time follower of Nigerian football, watching closer than me for even a before 2016. I was not putting in as much effort as I put in now into Nigerian football. Then I was an armchair fan, like many people. What do you know about this Rio 2016 Olympic situation? And from your own point of view, who truly paid for this plane? Give us your insights.
You know, I will start with one other game again. That if you hear one side of the story and you don't call the other person to tell their own story, you are a wicked person. See, between the NFF or the sport ministry and Mikel Obi, who should I believe? I will go memory lane. When Sunday Lise coached the national team, the NFF publicly denied that Olise did not pay for anything. What he showed until Olise showed his bank details that this is what he paid when he was national team coach. That was how NFF would have denied that. I tell you that. Talking about the Rio Olympics now, initially they brought the flights. They don't know, maybe they don't know how many people are competing. The flight was too small to carry the team to Rio. And you have to play like 2 or 3 days against Japan. So I think they spoke to Data Airline also. And they have to stay in the hotel. I think Mikel paid for that hotel and feeding because he's not ready that day. They have to, they have to still stay behind and everything. But I think Mikel paid for that. And I think that what I'm hearing until Mikel now come and show his bank statement is that Delta Airline did not just give them the plane. I think they had for like, you have to just, it's like a tip, like just to drop something quickly, any amount, just drop something. Then you can, you can show what the rest you can cover the rest. And I think that, I think there was $150,000. I will come to that one later. I think that was when Mikel too got involved. But you know that these stories, what will Mikel be lying for? That is number one there. What will Mikel will now come and take credit for? See, it's 9 years ago now. We knew then that Mikel sponsored the team. We knew it was everywhere. I don't know why we're now denying and counter denying. I don't know why. If you had issue with Mikel because he went further to say Mikel is broke, Mikel is not broke. Mikel worked in Channel 5 on sport. What do you go on the FIFA Club World Cup. Mikel got his own podcast, sponsored by. I don't want to mention the name because of this platform. So I don't know where that one is coming from. Mikel might not have paid for the full flight, but he dropped something during their trials in Atlanta. And that thing when he drop, the NFF or the sport ministry should refund him.
Did you say they refunded or they didn't refund him?
They should refund him.
Okay, they should.
They didn't refund him. They should refund. See,
But I guess
do you think that everyone will borrow money from you and they will refund you? Do you know how many times Musa has built this team out? Ahmed Musa has built this team out. But Musa is someone that is he will not talk.
But see, the thing is that in a sense, let's be objective. Regardless of what Mikel paid for, it is embarrassing that a player even has to be dipping hands into his own pocket to sponsor
Mm-hmm.
the team when that's not his job or his obligation.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it is embarrassing. But they're kind of debating semantics.
Mm-hmm.
When Mr. Bumi spoke about it, Bumi
Mm-hmm.
Jinan, he didn't go as far as saying Mikel is broke or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was speaking about it more so because he was the one that sorted it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not understand why Mikel keeps wanting to take credit for something that he did. Because he said the reason why he made sure to sort it out was because he's the one that brought the team to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that if the team was not able to make their first match, it will fall back on him. That why did you bring them to Atlanta now? You're the one that allowed them to not go and play their first game.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that's the reason why he is bothered about the situation. And he said he didn't speak about it for a long time because nobody asked him. And it was only until somebody asked him that he spoke up about it. So it's not like he has any beef with Mikel or anything like that. But my question is, let's even say that 250,000. Let's say Mikel actually spends that money, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say he spends that money, but it was on other things,
Mm-hmm.
maybe hotel, feeding, logistics, small things here and there. I guess the question is, if it was on other things, why is it that it's just sweeter to say the story as, oh, I paid for the plane? Or why? Because when he's talking about it, he has been very constant about he paid for the plane. And that's the story that we've been hearing since that time. I remember that time we heard that
Mm-hmm.
Mikel paid for the plane. So why do you think some people said Abi they scam Mikel? Maybe Mikel thought it was paying, he was playing, he was paying for, but it wasn't actually the plane that he was paying for or something. Do you think maybe they scammed him, or maybe it just makes the story sweeter to tell? Because if he paid for other things, why does he keep mentioning plane? What do you think?
You are also right too, because uh, you know, based on the story that actually what happened then was that they want to pay for plane, but the boys, part of it is that they want to go and sleep somewhere. So at that time, they were just collecting Mickey's card. Yeah, Mickey. That's it. They were just collecting Mickey's card. That's it. Just collecting Mickey's card to go and pay. To go and pay. Siasia did not deny that Mickey did not pay for something. Even Mr. Bumi that said that he brought them in. He should be ashamed too that he brought a team to that Atlanta. And it was you brought them to go and suffer them in that place because they were the one paying for the things themselves. You brought them there. So it's possible that they want to collect money from Miguel and they don't know how to present how
Mm.
much they want to collect from Miguel. In Nigeria now, if you want to write budget, you will put something that is very urgent there. See, we go miss game. Oh. You have to get the flight. Oh. And Miguel's okay. Yeah. How much is the flight? Yeah. Pay for the flight. We will refund you so I won't miss it. So what will refund you? Maybe that was what they asked Mikel.
So
And Mikel,
maybe that's what they told him,
that's what they told him
but that's not what the money
what
actually
this
was for.
what it was for.
Mm.
So and he paid. And at the end of the day, they have scammed Mikel. Some people don't cash out. They don't cash out straight away. So all this, when I see people, with due respect, I saw some journalists, making videos and everything. And I appreciate your knowledge. You think deep. Some of these people are just masturbating outside. Honestly, because I don't understand again. Why can't you just think the way it is now? The people, because you travel abroad, you think that you forgot the Nigerian system. We all know how it works. You think you forgot the Nigerian system. Maybe the NFF was denying the whole thing online on Super Sports that they didn't do until somebody say give them evidence that they paid for the team. So we need to just say things the way it is. What did Mikel pay for? Actually, I did not deny he said he paid for something. What did he pay for? Maybe he was part of those that even asked him to bring money. What did he pay for? He should come and say it. He should come and say it.
Mm.
In fact, 10 years is not settled bar in the quality. We can still approve some few things out.
Hmm.
The key players in that in the team that they are still alive. So we should talk about. So this is national embarrassment, and I'm not actually what really happy with it.
Yeah. It's embarrassing because I was thinking about it when I first said I was like, what does because like when I think about it, Mikel doesn't gain anything from lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing that he gains. Like he's already a legend of Nigerian football. I never said, oh, Mikel is more of a legend because he paid for playing. Like that, nobody really cares that much. Just the fact that at that time he even risked his spot at Chelsea to come, people were already appreciative, you know. So I'm like, why would 9 years later Mikel still be lying about it? So when I think about it, I'm like, he has to have thought he was paying for the plane. Like that must have for him to still be saying it, that must have been what he thought he was doing. Wherever that money left, he must have thought
Mm-hmm.
he's paying for the plane. But I guess the question is, does Mikel have a transaction record? Maybe is there a record somewhere where that money left his account and you'll see the transaction, Delta Airlines, something. Or did he give that money to somebody in the ministry? And then they say, okay, the ministry collected the money. Then he does not know how they went and sorted it out. I think it is a very shameful thing for us to be debating about in Nigerian
Mm-hmm.
football. A player should never have to, even if it's for one drink,
Mm-hmm.
the player should not have to. Yes, anything that you want to do with for yourself by yourself, yes, is your own money that you spend. But the team should have everything organized. I
Mm-hmm.
really hope that they did not scam Mikel. I hope that somebody did not just carry his money. But the more you think about it, to me, that must be that's like the only thing that really is logical in my head. That somebody lied to him, he dropped the money, and he thought it was the plane that he was putting the money down for. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe they used the money for something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that the people that are saying that Delta provided the plane. So some people were arguing with me on Instagram that, oh, how can Delta give the plane for free? Blah blah blah, things like that. It's not impossible that Delta will give the flight for free. And especially listening to Mr. Bome Jinadu's version of events, he formed a relationship with Delta. He sweetened it to them, like, oh, okay, we'll create some of the balls using Delta logo, like try to make it into a marketing opportunity for Delta. And even at the time, what he said was when Delta even said, okay, they had found a flight for the team, he initially even asked them, okay, so how much is it going to cost? And he
Mm-hmm.
said it was Delta that now told him that no, that they will do it for free with all their just little arrangements covered. So I don't think that it is a lie. I don't think it's because some people are like, why would Delta? I don't think it's impossible. You know, People sponsor flights all the time for various other benefits that they think that they can get. Like for example, now in this one conversation, how many times have we mentioned their name, Delta? We don't give them free adverts. Every time that the story gets told, everybody talks about it and says Delta Airlines. So for them, they can look at it that they came to save
But
its publicity. So I don't think it is impossible.
I understand the see, so, but the issue is this. We know everything that comes out with flights. You are carrying a whole national team to Brazil. You will not do you just do with sponsor. Hey, it's nice, but you have to do proper documentation. You have to be able to do all those little formalities. Just carry your plane, give them. They don't know what they are. Yeah,
Hmm.
I understand what I'm talking about. It's not sorry, it's not fly jet, follow jet. Oh. It's not earpiece. It's not. It's not fly jet or earpiece. But that
Hmm.
is a big airline. You have
Hmm.
to be all those formalities there. You can also go and sugarcoat them in one day, and they will now come and be saying that we agree with you. We see we have to be sincere in that country. I have to be you have to be sincere because you know as the funniest thing is that everybody just see you have you don't do sorry now. US say sorry. US in fact everybody sees that he's there too in Brazil. I don't know what his own part of the story. Is he a stakeholder there? Is he what is his own thing there? He also showing video, he didn't pay, he didn't do always want to be in the limelight.
Hmm.
So please we should look at it in a very good way, in a logical way. so that we don't just come and blame, counter blame again. There's a lot of fishing.
Do you think Mikel would ever come with receipts?
I think so. It can, say, let me tell you something. Okay,
He has his
you,
platform.
you,
If he has
you,
the receipt,
you,
he can. He can.
you okay, I'll come in. You had a guest, before I don't want to mention it. And the NFF wanted to contact somebody very close to the guest. Say, okay, oh, come coach our national team. And the guest thought, that's to sign contract. You'll be our own now. What is contract? Come and do it for us. Maybe that is what it is for Miguel too. Just let us pay this for this thing. Where is it? See, they will send us substituted that. Miguel, trust us now. Maybe that's how it's up. So maybe you should go to his bank details now and go and check it. But the issue is this. If na Mr. Agbonaya something, I just transfer the money and be I they just not that. How will he trace the whole thing?
That's the issue.
That is the issue. There's a lot of things going on. I
Be-
want them to investigate this matter.
No, because it really all depends on who he sends the money to. Because
Uh-huh.
if it is that we can look at his bank and we see 250,000 Delta,
Mm-hmm.
there is no
Mm-hmm.
argument.
There's no argument.
Everybody will look at it and say, the record is there. But if you look at it now and they say, oh, maybe they broke it into three different transfers. This one is 100,000 to Mr. Smith, another 100,000 to Mr. Yoti, another 50,000 went to Mr. somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
How do you now tell us exactly what it was for and who it was for the flight? So it's very tricky, man. It's very tricky.
And sorry, like you said, Eagles Tracker could have make research investigation that plane would have gotten a landing permit before the flight will even take off.
And I mean, obviously, there's logistical things that Delta would have to sort out, but they do this every time. They like, I mean, they fly how many flights
Mm-hmm.
a day? Of they know how they will sort all these things out.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I want to ask questions too. Which restaurant did they go and eat? Is it a Nigerian restaurant? Because that question. Maybe now Mr. Obueri's food carton. Nine go, nine they transfer the they say they chop food. So we never know. So a lot of things might be fishing here, IoT.
hmm. it would be very interesting to see what it would it would what the outcome would be if they actually do like a proper deep dive into it and look at it. I personally don't understand. Well, okay, here's my thing now. Nigerians, why is it that whenever somebody says something, why do we always turn it into, oh, the person has beef with somebody else, oh, the person doesn't like the person? Because people say this all the time, and it's the same man now that is in the middle of all these things, like better. When he said about Osimhen, they say it's because he has beef with Osimhen. Now he did not say anything. He's the one that he interviewed the person that says something. They say it's because he has beef with Mikel. What if he doesn't and it's just because that's
Uh,
the version of events?
Whether that we they will be that they will you really want to interview, you want to be talking to. See, the issue is this. The issue with whether is that I don't want to say much into that, but he's straight it down and let him enjoy the moment. He's putting his mouth in everything. Let him enjoy the moment. That is it. So, but what I want to say basically is this: there's a lot of gaps in the stories,
Hmm. There's a
and the
lot
issue
of
with
gaps in all the stories because,
yes,
to be honest, like even Mikel's version of events, the reason why we are inclined to believe Mikel is because we know Nigeria now. Like we know that Nigeria, it is very possible. That's why when we first heard the story, nobody doubted it
mm-hmm.
because it's very, very possible it's Nigeria. But it's just now that people are coming to doubt and people are coming to say a different version. That's literally for the first time that I'm thinking that is it possible that Mikel did not pay for this thing? And I want to trust Mikel over the Nigerian authorities, but I don't know. I'm just like I need to see more. I need to hear more. Somebody said I went to Mikel's comments to call him a liar. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the person that said that is from. you know but I understand that comprehension sometimes can be difficult, no matter where you're from. English is not the most straightforward language. I never called Mikel a liar. I went and I said, "Oh, somebody is saying Mikel did not pay for it." I never said Mikel didn't. I never said Mikel is lying. I went and provided context that okay, while we are saying Mikel did this, somebody somewhere is saying Mikel did not. Whether you agree or not, is not. I'm not going there to call anybody liar. I was not there. I did not. I did not know who spent what money. So I'm not going to call anybody a liar. I just think it's an interesting turn of events that this went on for so long, and then
Mm.
now people are coming to give us different sides of the story. And
Uh, yeah.
yeah, I just hope that an investigation is done and we actually know what the truth is.
Sorry, some people say that Mikel and Egbete, if you remember the Osimhen interview too, you mentioned Mikel there. Mikel is promoting Osimhen to Chelsea. That he's even destroying. Can you see? He made that say that he's destroying Mikel. He's destroying Osimhen.
Mm.
Is he the one that is asked Jassy to go and collect red card? You know? So
But
like
no, but like Mikel was like we have to be objective about this. Even I was saying Mikel was actively promoting.
it was.
I don't think that him saying that is wrong because
Do you
Mikel
think that
was
Ferdinand was
promoting
promoting
Osimhen.
Osimhen too? Ferdinand.
No, see, it's different now. Somebody speaking about Osimhen and talking about how good Osimhen is very different from Mikel always talking about Osimhen while always bashing the person that Mikel is coming to potentially replace. That it comes off as okay, you have a and he was and at the same time he was telling us about how he's talking to Osimhen and he's Mikel almost made it sound as if he was an agent in the deal. Oh, it was every time. Oh, I know the work we were trying to do. I know what we were doing. I know where we left off. Mikel made it sound like he was very, very involved in everything. So it's just like if I'm working, let's say like now, I'm trying to broker a deal for you, but the current contract is with Humble Henry, and I'm trying to make you get the contract. And on my show, I'm always talking about how Humble Henry is not doing a good job, and I'm talking about how Smith Lai can do a job better than Humble Henry while I am negotiating the contract for Smith Lai.
Mm.
There appears to be there's conflict of interest there. There's obviously a bias. So for me, I love Mikel. Mikel is my favorite Nigerian player ever. But he did have a bias for Osime, and it appeared like he just did not like Jackson. So I don't think it was wrong for people to mention Mikel in that situation. Now, did Mikel damage Osime's value? I don't really think so. I think he was just fighting for his brother. you know. But I don't really think he was destroying Osimen's value at all. But and me personally, I don't think I mean I don't know Elegbete that well, but I don't think that is because of personal beef that he has with Mikel. I don't think so. I don't like to assume.
Who is Edward's
Maybe
favorite?
maybe it's because I think too highly of everybody. But I don't want to
He's very
be
intelligent.
what is it?
He's very intelligent.
I mean, see, I just want to believe that he's bigger than because of beef to come
See,
and say some things.
Omar, you have to. Sorry, I don't worry. You have to say something to trend on this social media. You mentioned example of D1. Since when D1 was doing the good thing, who was talking about D1? He's talking about Boniface now. Say Boniface, we need to. People are watching like he's stop all those being a nice person. Hey, with Gerard plays today, with this one score today, he stop all those things now. Talking about the controversial part of the topic. Let people go and debate. You know, let them go and talk about me. So for me, I wish him luck on that two parts. But it's just, and I want to add something. Is that if we support a player, doesn't mean that we're against the other player. Some people are saying that we have an agenda to sell Boniface out of Super Eagles. People should stop all these things. So,
But with like you have to see why. See, the thing is that in life, I always talk about this thing. Remember when I'm talking about branding, perception matters.
mm-hmm,
It is the way people perceive certain things sometimes. Because as
mm-hmm,
I said, is the reason why Mikel's thing with Osime, you might want to say, Mikel is just supporting his guy. But when he does it all the time, constantly, see now, even when Jackson got that his red card the other day, see the way Mikel, So stupid, stupid. It sounds as if it is more than just. Do you know
But
what I'm saying?
but 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 that's quote trended. That's what
That's what I'm
celebrities
saying. But
pay for.
it sounds more personal than just analysis. Because
Mhm.
obviously everybody knew that, man. Oh, Jackson. Like even in my group chat, I mean, just one in our group chat, all of us are just like, oh, my, this guy don't come again with his, So everybody's upset. But when you're the one that carries it to your heart on TV, it's so stupid. Why would you do that? It just sounds as if there is more to it. Do you get what I'm saying? It sounds like there's more to it. See, even you, speaking about Boniface, you posted something on your story, and I replied you, and I was laughing, and I said, "Sweet, like, you leave this boy alone now." You might not be joking around, but some people will look at that and say, "See, again, look at what it's because he does not like this guy. He does not like this guy." So it's just perception. It's the same way some people will say, IoT is always defending, is always defending, is always defending. It's the way people perceive things. And when it's too negative, people think, oh, there must be something under that you're not telling us. If it's too positive, it's the way people will start saying that you have collected money. Oh, you have done this thing. Me, I like to always give everybody benefit of doubt, and believe that there is no personal reason for people doing certain things. But at the end of the
Well, you
day,
can't be objective against Nigerian player. You think you're biased. They will know who are you. They will say it. That who are you? You cannot be objective against Nigerian player. If you're objective against them, they tell you, oh, well, who are you to even advise them?
they don't have to listen now. Nobody has to listen at the end of the day.
And the issue is that those Nigerian player want us to talk about them if they have a bad game.
And that's the thing. Like I know even me with the thing that I do, I know the Nigerian players that don't like me, the likes of Tolu. And I know the ones that when
But
I'm
Tolu was Chinese.
and I know the ones that even when I'm not there, people have told me about the good things that they've said.
Mm-hmm.
Even some that surprised me. But I know that there are some that in my absence, they will say good things, and there are some that I beg, he said I had a bad game. So what's he talking about? Everything, everything. You know what?
You spoke about someone, your player met with a Nigerian player.
My what?
Your player met one Nigerian player and asked about the good striker. Which player
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that?
yeah. That it wasn't in Nigeria, it was a former player. It was Sunday Olise.
Who is it? Uh-uh.
It was Sunday Olise.
Uh-uh.
My dad met him. My dad went for a conference. He met him at the place, and they were chatting. That's one thing. Shout out to my parents, man, because in this life, if you have parents that support you, it's one of the best things. I said, there's nowhere my father can be if he meets somebody that is about that is a football person. He must talk about a good striker.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. That's one thing my father, because my father too loves football. Anywhere he
Mm-hmm.
goes, if he meets somebody that is a football person, Eagle striker, my son,
Does he follow you?
he doesn't follow, but he said he knows that he has seen, some of the things that we've done, that he knows.
You should invite him. If you have a chance to invite him, he's gonna be box officer.
Even
He's gonna
Lisa
expose
said he
it.
wants to start his own podcast now.
Yeah, he's gonna expose everything. Somebody said that both of you are Chinese. In the comment.
Hey, speaking of podcast, Victor Boniface is starting a podcast, you guys. I don't know if you
Who
guys.
go listen?
You think people will listen now? Boniface, Indidi, and Frank Onyeka.
Tanganyika.
Yeah,
I think Ola and Shubakbom and
they
the
should do
work on
their
that
own. I
too.
mean, you know. Boniface, Indidi. I want to see what the dynamic would be like, because we know that Boniface is a clown.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Indidi has a jokey side, but he doesn't like talking too much in public.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Onyeka, we don't really hear from Onyeka.
Mm-hmm.
In private, 'cause he posted on his page, he said, I don't talk too much. You and Wisa commented and said you're lying. So maybe in private, he talks a lot. But Onyeka doesn't really talk in public. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how they
Mm-hmm.
work together, you know. And I mean, I want to see what is like, I want to see what is like. Next time they should involve me, but at the same time, I like when Nigerian players are doing things that are not conventional. So even whether you involve me or not, I still think it's a good effort. Hopefully it's good content. Hopefully they're not doing anything that is damaging, and I think it will be a good one. I think it will be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Before we take calls, because we have people waiting and
They're already out of time,
we're
sir.
already out of time. But we were not insulting. People were criticizing Victor Boniface for doing a live stream with Bella.
Mm-hmm.
NFF has gone to go and do promotion with the same with the same fella. So what do we now say about that?
NFF made see. Let me tell you something. Okay, who is more serious, NFF or Boniface?
Who is more serious? Yeah, that
Uh,
way anybody can argue
it's
that
up
one.
for that one is up
It's
for
up for
that.
debate.
It's up for debate. It's up for debate because I don't see anything in mission. I think it's part of the mission X.
Mm.
Because they want this social cloud now. They want they don't. The issue is this: they need to go for like they want this as social media things to really actually want improve. So they are trying to like bring a lot of people in and things like that. But I think Pella is just the wrong person. It's okay. Maybe they will bring macaroni again. I don't know. I don't know how that one will be actually
I
because
wonder how much they paid him. NFF.
mhm, yeah,
Okay.
it's Mission
We have a
X.
bunch of people waiting, so let me just give people the
Yeah,
opportunity to talk. I'll
two
bring
two
on, yeah, everybody
what
has 2 minutes so that
2 minutes. I will go. We
we
want to
can
go to
finish
bed
on
though.
time. But yes, welcome, Tim Dokwe. We cannot hear you, Tim Dokwe.
You can hear me?
Yes,
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you now.
Can you hear me now?
We
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you. Go on.
First, I want to talk about the. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Can
go
you hear me
on.
very well?
Yes,
I want to talk about
we can hear
the
you.
Mikel and Osimhen issue first. Number one, even Fabrizio confirmed that Chelsea delegate went to Italy talk with Osimhen. That's no Mikel know about it. That's why I don't know that concern. Secondly, concerning the plane issue, 2022 is not too far. When the story started, why can't they deny that? Can not pay the money? Why can't they deny them? Elephants are alive then. Mr. Bruno alive then. How can they say you are lying, when the story started? Why now they are now denying it now? Why now? So that 9 years ago, this thing is not a lie, it's not true, it's a lie. Deny it immediately. Not now that 9 years ago. Not that they 9 years. Shut that getting one money. From the one, just I don't like me, don't like Kato. That's one. So about the Falcons next. Falcons, that guy that went number 21, that do left back. That guy's calamity. You can you hear me?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
I hear me.
Yes.
That guy
Yes.
that played, that played left back for Nigeria. That guy that played the first time. That number 21 girls. Calamity girl. That play against constant goals. And the team play well second half. They missed some time, but I think Odega play well. And still went from the wing. Not that center striker in the first half. I like what anyone bring to the table. Good striker, other play. But that Papa in the that number two girl. I think that girl is a bit selfish for me. So all in all, IoT, thanks for broadcast of the match. I really enjoyed the match from your YouTube channel. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Good
Thank
night.
thank you very much, Tim Dokwe. Nice to hear from you. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Humble Henry, welcome.
Yes, I greet you all. Thank you, Smith and your team. First, let me start from players on podcast. If you're a professional player and you know that football is a short-term career, anything that will distract you, don't do it. I will not encourage Boniface to start doing
Hello?
podcasts with Franco Onyeka and Ndidi. Boniface is 24, Franco Onyeka is 27, Ndidi is 28. 3 years gap. And Boniface is at his peak. Let him focus on his career. You will not see Lukman doing podcasts. You will not see England players doing podcasts because football is a short-term career. Once you're 30, 29, you can do it. But look at your age. Look at what you have to accomplish because it's going to be a distraction. Podcast comes with a lot of things. When you'll be sleeping, when you are resting, when you are trying to do seasonal this thing, you are trying to use it to do podcast. I will not encourage that, especially a young player that is at his peak. I don't think Lukman will do podcast. I don't think Osima will start doing podcast because he know what he wants. And the way I see Osima is the way I see Victor Boniface because these are the pillars that Nigerians are moving. And people don't hate Boniface. In fact, let me be honest with you. I rate Boniface ahead of Lukman when Boniface was at his, we know what go on. But when he started misbehaving, I said, what is going on? I was a little bit disappointed. I said, hell no, you have to take your football serious. And if people are talking about Boniface, they want him to succeed. He's somebody that have something that people talk about. If you don't have anything, people will not talk about you. This is number one thing. Number two is the female. Um, Odoga Francisca, please use this outcome as a self fault for yourself. You are 32. Osinachi, you are 33. Assistance, you are 31. Informer, you are 31. Let this outcome be something that you guys will use it as a self fault party for you all, so that the new generation will come. Because if you guys are still there, how can we be able to produce the new generation? Because definitely, as soon as they are in this AFCON, you will see them, they want to play another one, they want to play another one. By the time you know it, when they move, it will be difficult for us to, put in the new generation. So all these people that I mentioned, any player that is 31 years old, 30 years old in Super Falcons, let this AFCON be his self-fought party for herself, so that another new generation will come. It's come and go. Soldier come, soldier go. It's not any person family property. It's a general public property. Once you finish your own, you are a legend. Just move. God will bless your soul.
All right.
And the last one I will say is Mikel and the Siasia. Well, I don't know what to say about this. Mikel, if you have evidence, you bring evidence. But if you go and watch Elevated, start watching at 35 minutes when he interviewed Siache. From that 35 minutes up, when they asked him who is the best player for him, somebody mentioned Mikel. Said, Mikel, what? No, Obuke, Obasi. Maybe he requested something from Mikel and Mikel declined. I don't know the beef. But the way he said it on the phone, when I listen to it, you will see that I think this person is having a problem with Mikel.
Also, Humble Henry, I will just say on that, I have
Mm-hmm.
interviewed Samson Siasia before,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him the same question that who was his favorite player. He
Mm-hmm.
said the same name, Chinedu Obasi.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I did not ask him about Mikel at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that means that he does not like Mikel. I think it's just a thing of that, like no, like Obasi.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. If you study philosophy of language, who is your best player? Mikel. Mikel what? You get the point. Mikel what?
No, I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah, yeah.
it can just be a reaction. It's like if maybe if you tell me like, oh, if you ask me like, IoT, what team do you support? Man U. I can which beg, which man you? Do you get so it doesn't necessarily mean that oh I don't like the person. It's just that like, come on, where are you? What are you talking about? No, this is the person I like. But humbly, I understand what you're saying. I have to let you go because we have
Okay.
um five other people that are waiting. But thank you for your contribution. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So that was Humble
And we
Larry.
rush them.
Let me quickly just reply to Sports Ghana's comments because I told him he did not leave super chat and he left the super chat. So he said, "Why is an active player doing a podcast? That's something that you do when you retire because retirement or off season. Ekong does vlogs, not podcast. So I think maybe a lot of people did not really understand how their podcast is going to work, but they have already recorded all the episodes. They are not going to be recording it during the season. They've already recorded it during this summer that they're in Nigeria, and then they are going to be dropping it small, small, starting from next month. So it's not as if when they are in their different clubs, they will now be finding a way to meet and be doing podcasts. No, it's already been fully recorded with different guests, and then they'll just be dropping maybe one per month or something like that. They'll just be dropping the episodes. Their podcast is the kind of podcast that is not really dependent. They're not talking about things that are happening. They're just talking in general. Not like I've heard the interviews, but it doesn't appear to be something that is time sensitive. So they record it and then they just drop it one after the other. And I will even say this, even if they were recording it during the season, I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing because in other parts of the world, a lot of people do this. Maybe it's not so common in football, but in the NFL world, in the basketball world, some players make millions of dollars off the field doing podcasts. For example, Draymond Green has, I think, is a weekly podcast that he does, and some people used to criticize him because even on a day that his team will lose, because basketball they play like every 3 days. Even on a day that his team, after he lose match, he will still go and do the podcast. And people will be saying, you just lost today. Why are you coming to do podcast? But he's making money off of it, so he cannot not do it. He's obligated to do it. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because the hours that you spend playing video games, for example, if you take 1 hour out of your day once a week to talk, trust me, there are players that they are doing there are a lot of worse things that they can do with their time than to talk for 1 hour. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. As long as you have a team, it's not you that is struggling to get guests. It's not you that is struggling to edit video. It's not you that is struggling to put all the things together. Your own is just to take 1 hour, talk, people go and figure it out and they just put it out there for you. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Okay. Mr. Didotson, welcome, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. IoT. Smilai, how you doing? Yeah, let me just say this. The comment I made concerning the academic player, you know, I've already been saying it. I said Nigerians were complaining that Josimadugu invited a college player, but they were celebrating that academic players were invited to Super Eagles. So what's the double standard? If we could invite academic players to Super Eagles, why can't we just invite college players to Falcons? That's not on that. So people should understand that college players here in America, they are more or less professional players. So nobody should complain about the college game, the college player being invited to Super Falcons. That's that on that. Then on the issue of what Omori said, in as much as I don't like people to stay very long in national team, but I think as of today, Osina Shiwale is our best vendor. So I will not in any way advise her to retire now if he still has a lot to offer. If you are still saying Balogun can give you good for 5 minutes, why Shiwale play our last international match that is up at this WAFCON? No, she'll keep going until players like Shukran Oladapo and co can step up and can fill in. That's not that. On the issue of Mikel and Siasa, I love them both. And before today, I've heard a lot about Bumi Chinadu. At least with the other advisor, I'm part of the committee for 2026 World Cup for mainland.
Yeah.
He's a very worthy guy, but a very good football enthusiast. So I know what he said. There are ways they do things here in the States. Data can lift the players. There are ways can talk to data to lift the players. Everything's marketing. So I'm not saying Mikel is lying. I'm not saying Bumi is lying. I'm not saying Cesar is lying. But Cesar said Mikel paid for some expensive hotel and other expenses, probably not the plane. So for us to have a clarity, I want it's better for some persons to please bring out the fact. If Bumi can meet with Data Airline and say, oh, please, let's clarify this. It should bring out the fact, or if it's Mikel, it should bring out the fact. But people saying nonsense about Siasa is saying that because Mikel did not give him bribe. People start saying some things. They start saying some things. I think I watched your interview with Siasa when he said he had been saying that Obuke, that wasn't take anything away from Mikel's ability. Like what I say, I'm sorry, I never liked Zidane as a player. When everybody was saying Zidane was better, to me, Zidane was not my best player. I respected Figo more than Zidane. Does that mean Zidane was not good? No, it was good. So that's on that. And you just want people not to follow to me. I know on this podcast we don't take side. We all just say it from our own view. All we are saying that somebody should please come out with a fact. And I'm tired of all these problems between the ex-footballers and these current footballers and stuff like that. I'm tired. These guys, these are legends. They should be united so that they can put our football forward. If they are united, they can compete with NFF or stand against the shenanigans at NFF. But if they are disunited, I'm telling you, you won't have his well. So nobody's going to be able to talk to these people, these jokers in NFF. So that's that on that. I would just want somebody to please bring out the facts so that we can please dive all these arguments.
Mm.
So another thing I'm going to say is this: like I said, there's no perfect list. I would allow Imran to be part of the team, but notwithstanding, I'm still rooting for Falcons to win the WAFCON.
Mm.
So thank you for guys for having me. God
All right.
bless you.
Thank you very much, Adet. See, Smilaye has to jump off. So let's see. I don't know if we can take the one or two more people before you go. So everybody, guys, 1 minute, please. I'm sorry. I know that you'll get shorter time, but um, please just try to be as quick as possible.
Yeah,
Charles.
so about the WAFCON, I didn't watch the match per se, but I watched the highlight. I was busy. I just want to wish the girls, like, they should go do their thing, go win, make us proud, make it 10. It's been a long time. This is what, 2018. Go win that. About the ticket and about this controversy and all that, I think people forgot the main point, what Mikel was trying to clarify. Mikel was talking on Peter Crouch podcast, and he was trying to identify what the ravaging disease called corruption that is, affecting everybody. Today, I don't think, are you guys aware that Favor Ophelia just switch allegiance? She's no longer, that should tell you the kind of thing corruption is doing. So my other thing is that if Mikel pay for some expenses, why should he, a player coming to participate in that tournament, pay for some expenses? We had the NFF, we had Amadou Penny, Salomon Dalong, all of them, Sanusi, we are there. I make the man pay for everything. About players having podcasts, it's not a bad idea. I mean, yeah, they do it here. You have ballers, you have basketballers doing, you have NFL doing right here. It's not bad, but per se, but like, know your limits. Okay, for Boniface now, Boniface in Bayer Leverkusen, you're gonna play Champions League, you're gonna play Bundesliga, you're gonna play German Cup, you're gonna play a lot of tournament. So how can he really keep it up? And now they're saying he has lost his spot with Leverkusen. So to me, I mean, it's not the right time. And you have Onyeka. Onyeka is like what? Onyeka has a club, guarantee starter. So right now, I don't know. I don't really know because I seen that post on Instagram. I think they said they invited them for podcast. I never knew that was their podcast. But no problem. Like I said, we'll just see how things go. I'm hoping the girls win the title.
All right.
10, lucky number 10. I mean, make us
All right.
happy. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you. All right. Munachi, please, 1 minute as well.
Oh, hi. Okay, quickly. So back to I think I want to agree with Uncle Ade Dotun. The time has come for these ex-players and they should stop this their squash because I can't remember the last time we churn out effective under 17. I can't remember. I don't even think we have an under 23. I'm not sure. So I think everybody has to come together to actually develop our football because it's going down the hill. That's my own take. Then you said something about Mikel criticizing Jackson. See, he's talking from a passionate point of view. I'm a strong, die-hard Chelsea fan. Even Drogba himself said he cannot recognize Chelsea anymore. But that's not the discussion for tonight. So, my own is ex-players should just come together and just help develop our football because it's going down the hill. Thank you for the
All right.
opportunity.
Thank
Anyway.
you very much, Munachi. Thank you very much. Okay, final person for tonight. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Last minute. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Or good day wherever you're watching from. So quick one here. My thoughts are on the my thoughts actually on the list. I mean, the Super Falcons list to WAFCON. I think there's a player that we're already sleeping on. I think the left back of Bayelsa Queens, Ilivieda Honorio Day. I think I got the pronunciation correctly.
Hmm.
You know, she has won the NWFL 3 times. She has won the Wafubi at club level twice. She also won bronze at the Women CAF Champions League. For I think with Edo Queens. So she's a very good left back. Even this last Super Six they played in Ikene, she was a captain. She did well. I was surprised that she didn't make the final list. And no player, even from the NWFL winning side, was picked by coach Justin Madugu. So it's really shocking. Like, if you are saying we want the best, shouldn't we be picking the best players from the best team in the league? So that's just my thoughts. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you very much to everyone that has watched. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in. We've kept Midlai way longer than we needed to. Hopefully his madam doesn't shout at him when he goes away. But Midlai, final thoughts for tonight.
Another wonderful edition. I just like podcast because it's engaging and everything. But what I was also basically is that I want to wish the Falcons the best of luck, and I hope that they can beat Ghana on I think is it in 3 or 4 days time?
No, 6 days time, 29.
29. So beat Ghana, and then let's get started. I will be sharing them maybe probably Morocco. See,
Hmm.
let's see.
All right.
Yeah,
And yes, thank you to everyone that has tuned in. Of course, we're waiting for the friendly against Ghana. If I am able to stream that one, I'll stream that game as well. We'll have a conversation after the match. And of course, the Nigeria FC podcast will be back again next week for another exciting conversation. Lots happening in the world of football these days. So I'm sure
yeah,
something will happen. Another person will start another controversy. He'll talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
This one just happens to be about who pay for playing. But
yeah,
something else is going to come up, and Nigerian players on the move. Lots of stuff happening. The WAFCON is going to take up most of our content next month as well.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
very much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like the video if you haven't liked it. Subscribe to it if you haven't subscribed. My name is IoT. My co-host is
Midlife.